Chapter 5:13. Third brother has been spoiled since he was young. He used to be young and didn't understand these things between men and women. Now that he's grown up, I don't know where he heard it from. He's probably curious. After all, he doesn't have a wife, so he can't study it with his wife. He can only look at other people's books, Zhueru said. This was his analysis in his heart, and it wasn't much different from the truth. Zhu Songlu was like this because, firstly, he was getting older. Secondly, when he was studying in town, he saw the other young masters buying pornographic books to read. Out of curiosity, he bought one too. Once he started reading, he couldn't stop himself. He was addicted to it all day long, and then he became more curious about the things between men and women. Sigh, I still feel uncomfortable. We should save money as soon as possible. When the time comes, we can build a new house and move out. There won't be so many problems. I'll work hard. Don't worry. Mulan responded and burrowed into her man's arms. She believed in him. The next morning, Xiao Yun took Xiao Ping to the street. Because it was her first blind date, Xiao Ping could be said to be dressed up. She put on the new clothes, smeared a lot of white powder on her face, and used red paper to touch her lips. Xiao Yun couldn't describe this feeling of Xiao Ping. She clearly looked like a clown, but Xiao Ping probably thought that she looked good in her heart. Was she sure that this appearance wouldn't scare people? If she were to scare someone to death, this marriage would be ruined. She didn't know how long Xiao Ping would stay at home. Xiao Yun thought about it and still said to Xiao Ping, Sister Ping, come, cover your face with this handkerchief. This way, he won't see the birthmark on your face. Look at half of your face, you're still a beauty. Since he said that he doesn't care about your appearance, then don't show it to him. What if you like him and he's not satisfied with your appearance? Why don't they just cover their faces and wait for the other party to agree? Once the marriage is settled, they won't have a chance to regret it. Don't you think so? Xiao Ping felt that what Xiao Yun said made sense. She was not ugly even if she covered half of her face with the birthmark. Is that all right? I'll blindfold it, Xiao Ping said as she took it. Yes. After Xiao Ping covered her face, she did look much better. Xiao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. If she went on a blind date like this, she should be able to muddle through. The car drove towards Yang City. Xiao Ping was very excited along the way. When they arrived at Yang City, Xiao Ping took care of the stall first. The man hadn't arrived yet. Matchmaker Tuo Gao had also told her in her message that the man could come directly to her breakfast stand. Her stall was quite famous in Yang City, so she could find it by asking anyone. The three of them were busy in front of the breakfast stand. Xiao Ping looked around anxiously, craning her head from time to time as she waited for the man to come. When Xiao Yun saw Xiao Ping's expression, she really didn't know what to say. Didn't this woman know how to be more reserved? Fortunately, there were no outsiders around. If the women in the village saw this, they would probably gossip again. Sigh, it's been so long. Why isn't he here yet? Mother, is he not coming? Xiao Ping asked after waiting for half an hour. Chapter 5:14. Xiao Ping stomped her feet anxiously and said, Mother, but I've been waiting for so long, then how long do you have? Ping don't be anxious. Just wait a little longer. He'll definitely come. But, Xiao Ping wanted to say something, but Xiao Yun was annoyed by her and replied, Sister Ping, why are you in such a hurry? He doesn't have a donkey carriage, so he can only come here on an ox cart. It's normal for him to be a little late. Sigh. Zhao Ping sighed and said, I'll wait a little longer then. Okay. After about an hour, matchmaker Gao came over with a delicate-looking boy. The boy was in his early 20s. He was fair, clean, and very good-looking. He followed behind matchmaker Gao and seemed a little shy. The moment she saw matchmaker Gao, she knew that the boy behind her was Zhao Ping's blind date today. Zhao Yun glanced at him and felt that he was not bad. He was more than enough to match Zhao Ping. If it weren't for the fact that he was poor, Zhao Ping probably wouldn't have been able to marry him. When the two of them were together, it felt like a fresh flower stuck in a pile of cow dung. Of course, the fresh flower belonged to this man, and the cow dung belonged to Zhao Ping. Zhao Yun was relieved. Zhao Ping definitely wouldn't reject such a good-looking boy. The marriage was more or less set in stone. Matchmaker Gao walked over with a smile and said, Haha, I've brought him here. This child is afraid of strangers and I was afraid that he wouldn't know, so I accompanied him. Liang Jinchao gestured for matchmaker Gao and the boy to sit down. He specially reserved a table for them. Matchmaker Gao tugged at the boy and said, Qin Yuan, come and sit down. Qin Yuan nodded shyly and responded. Zhao Ping's heart thumped non-stop when she saw such a good-looking man. He lowered his head even more. She thought to herself that matchmaker Gao wasn't lying. This man was really good-looking. Liang Jinchao saw that Zhao Ping was standing shyly at the side and did not come over. He hurriedly urged her, Ping, girl, what are you thinking about? Come here quickly. After being called by Liang Jinchao, Zhao Ping walked over bashfully. Mother, hurry up and come over. You two can have a chat and have some breakfast first. Zhao Ping had eaten earlier, but matchmaker Gao and Qin Yuan hadn't eaten yet. Zhao Yun was not stingy. She took a lot of delicious food from the stall to entertain the two people. Matchmaker Gao, the two of you must be hungry. Eat something first and let the two children chat. Matchmaker Gao nodded with a smile. Naturally, she wouldn't refuse. The aroma of the breakfast had already drawn out the glutton in her stomach. Qin Yuan was embarrassed at first, but seeing that matchmaker Gao was not standing on ceremony, he couldn't be too restrained and started eating with matchmaker Gao. Matchmaker Gao was like a pig. She ate a lot of food by herself. Zhao Yun was a little disdainful, but she didn't miss the food. She ate it anyway. She wouldn't have to entertain her that many times in the future. Matchmaker Gao saw that Zhao Yun's business was doing well. She smiled and said, It looks like you two make a lot of money in a day. Liang Jinchao smiled and said, It's okay. It's better than farming in the countryside. Chapter 5:15. As matchmaker Gao spoke, she whispered into Qin Yuan's ear, Qin Yuan, did you see that? She's managing this stall and her family is very rich. If you marry this girl, her family will definitely have a lot of dowry. By then, your family won't be so poor anymore. Qin Yuan listened to matchmaker Gao's words and nodded. I understand, Auntie Gao. Thank you for helping me. It's fine, it's fine. You don't have to be so formal with me. Later, have a good talk with that girl. You have to make sure she's satisfied. Got it, Auntie Gao. Qin Yuan also glanced at Zhao Ping a few times. He saw that Zhao Ping was indeed quite good-looking. The half of her face that was exposed was quite pretty. Although he didn't know what the other half of her face was like, it shouldn't be too bad. Even if it was bad, there was no way around it. It was not easy to marry a wife and even have a dowry. Zhao Ping blushed when Qin Yuan glanced at her. This man was actually looking at her. She didn't know what his impression of her was, but she was very satisfied. After Matchmaker Gao and Qin Yuan finished eating, Matchmaker Gao asked Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping to walk around Yang City. They could chat more freely without anyone around them. Ping you two go ahead. Liang Jinqiao also urged. Seeing Zhao Ping's shy face, he guessed that she was too embarrassed to go. Okay, Miss Ping let's go. Qin Yuan's pleasant voice rang out, making Zhao Ping's heart flutter again. Zhao Ping replied shyly, okay. Then, she followed behind Qin Yuan and walked away shyly. Zhao Yun looked at the two of them and felt that they were about the same. Matchmaker Gao continued to sit in Zhao Yun's shop and chatted with Liang Jinqiao. When Zhao Yun closed the stall, Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan also came back. Matchmaker Gao left with Qin Yuan, and Zhao Yun and her family drove the donkey back. On the way, Liang Jinqiao asked about Zhao Ping's opinion. Ping what do you think? Are you satisfied with this person? If you agree, I'll go back and talk to Matchmaker Gao, and our families will settle the marriage. Zhao Ping nodded shyly. Mother, I think it's pretty good. It's fine as long as you think it's a good idea. Ping it's settled then. Don't say that mother casually married you off. Mom, I won't. I think Qin Yuan is pretty good. Ha, that's good. Zhao Yun hooked up the corner of her mouth and finally solved one of her worries. When Zhao Ping got married, there would be one less scourge in the family. She reckoned that their lives would be better. On the other side, Qin Yuan and Matchmaker Gao were sitting in the bullock cart. Matchmaker Gao asked Qin Yuan for his opinion. Qin Yuan explained honestly, although I think she's a little silly, a little stupid, and maybe a little ugly according to what you said, she's still a little silly. Everything else is fine. Auntie Gao, can her family really give her a lot of dowry? Of course. Didn't you see how good her breakfast stall's business is? They can probably earn 1 or 2 taels a day. Once his daughter gets married, he'll have to compensate at least a few taels, right? Hearing Matchmaker Gao's words, Qin Yuan agreed. All right then. Auntie Gao, we'll have to trouble you to help our families arrange this marriage. Matchmaker Gao chuckled. All right, I'll help you arrange it. When the time comes, your families can set a date and arrange this marriage. Chapter 5:16. When Zhao Ping returned home, Mu Lianfeng and Daodu were both in the room. Seeing that Zhao Yun had returned, Daodu ran over excitedly and said to Zhao Yun, Mother, Daodu is not a wild child. He has a father. Zhao Yun was stunned. Didn't this child already acknowledge Mu Lianfeng as his godfather? Every day, his father would come and go. Why did he suddenly say this? I know. Zhao Yun replied with a smile. She pointed at Mu Lianfeng and said, Isn't this your father? Daodu's little brows furrowed. He nodded and shook his head. Mother, this father is Daodu's father, but he is also Daodu's biological father. Zhao Yun felt confused by Daodu's words. Daodu, mother doesn't understand. Daodu sighed. He seemed a little sad that he couldn't explain it. He could only look at Mu Lianfeng for help. Mu Lianfeng walked in front of Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Yun, Yun, 3 years ago, the person who made you pregnant with Daodu was me. Daodu is our flesh and blood. Zhao Yun was stunned. What did Mu Lianfeng say? Daodu was their flesh and blood. The person from 3 years ago was him. Seeing that Zhao Yun was stunned, Mu Lianfeng explained in detail what happened 3 years ago. Zhao Yun finally understood. She sighed in her heart. She didn't know who Daodu's father was, and she didn't want to know. She didn't want Daodu's father to be found. But she never expected that this person was Mu Lianfeng. Yun, our fate is destined by the heavens. No matter how long it takes, I will still return to your side. Mu Lianfeng said to Zhao Yun, affectionately. Yun, in the future, I will protect you and Daodu. I will never let the two of you suffer any grievances. Trust me, when the mine is finished, I will marry you and give you a grand wedding. I will make up for all the grievances you suffered in the past. I want everyone to know that you are marrying me in a grand manner. Daodu is our child, not a wild child. He is a noble little heir. As he said, Mu Lianfeng said this, he excitedly pulled Zhao Yun into his arms. It would be a lie if she said she wasn't a little. Zhao Yun felt rather fortunate that the person back then was Mu Lianfeng. Okay. Zhao Yun replied. Thank you, Yun Mu Lianfeng said. Actually, he felt guilty for all the grievances Zhao Yun and Daodu had suffered in the past 3 years. Fortunately, Zhao Yun didn't blame him. Otherwise, he wouldn't know what to do. Looking at the smiles on Daodu and Mu Lianfeng's faces, Zhao Yun suddenly felt very happy. After a moment of warmth, Zhao Yun began to prepare lunch. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng had a lot of free time today, she asked curiously why he suddenly didn't have anything to do. Yun, Mo Yen is here. I've left everything to him. He'll take care of it. Really? Yeah. He's very capable, so this won't be a problem for him. It's not a big deal anyway, Mu Lianfeng said easily. However, Mo Yen was complaining incessantly on the mountain. If she knew that Mu Lianfeng actually said it wasn't a big deal, she would probably die from anger. Chapter 5:17. Zhao Yun nodded. So that was the case. With someone helping Mu Lianfeng would obviously be much more relaxed. If you have time, call him over for a meal. It definitely won't be good to eat with so many people. It's fine. He's easy to take care of. Just feed him some food. The corner of Zhao Yun's mouth twitched slightly. Mu Lianfeng really was quite heartless as a master. Mo Yen suddenly felt a layer of coldness on the mountain top. This bad feeling made him very uncomfortable. All right then, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled, because he still remembered what happened last night. That fellow had suddenly ruined his mood, so he had to punish him properly. If Mo Yen knew what Mu Lianfeng was thinking right now, he probably would not have entered the tent even if he was beaten to death. After lunch, Mulan and Liang Jinchao came over again. This time, Mu Lianfeng was present, so they could not help but feel a little restrained. Zhao Yun sighed when she saw how bashful Mulan and Liang Jinchao were. She could only let Mu Lianfeng leave and take Daodu out to play. That way, Mulan and Liang Jinchao would not feel too uncomfortable. Mu Lianfeng felt like he had been disliked, but there was nothing he could do. He left with Daodu. Mulan and Liang Jinchao both let out a sigh of relief after Mu Lianfeng left. Zhao Yun smiled. Mother, sister-in-law Mulan, do you seem a little afraid of him? Mulan's lips twitched. Yun he's the young master. His status is noble. There's no reason for us not to be afraid. Yeah, Yun the young master is different from us after all. We just feel uncomfortable in the same room. What's wrong with the crown prince? Isn't he just an ordinary person? Mother, sister-in-law Mulan, you don't have to be too afraid of him. Look at how obedient he is now. When I asked him to go out, he went out obediently. Liang Jinchao and Mulan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mu Lianfeng listened to Zhao Yun because he liked Zhao Yun. Ordinary people like them didn't dare to say a word in front of Mu Lianfeng. After Mu Lianfeng brought Daodu out, they strolled around the village. Daodu introduced Mu Lianfeng as his biological father and that he was not a wild child. Daodu was naturally very satisfied with Mu Lianfeng's tall and strong father. Mu Lianfeng also let Dowdu do as he pleased. In fact, he was more than happy to be introduced by Dowdu. He wanted everyone to know that Dowdu had such a cool and powerful father. He wanted to see who would dare to bully Dowdu and laugh at Dowdu in the future. After Dowdu was so proud of himself that he actually gave a few less children, he bumped into Zhao Tianyu on the way. "You wild child, stop lying. What do you mean by your father? Don't just randomly use a person. Who doesn't know that your mother and a wild man gave birth to you?" Zhao Tianyu said sarcastically. Actually, he was only saying this because he was jealous of Dowdu. After all, Mu Lianfeng was tall, handsome, and rich. Everyone wanted a father like him. If it was someone else, it would be fine. However, it was Dowdu, whom he had always bullied. Dowdu glared at Zhao Tianyu angrily. "This is my father. Don't talk nonsense. Who can prove that he's your father?" That's right, Dowdu muttered. Zhao Tianyu said sarcastically, "Dowdu, stop dreaming. A little wild child will always be a little wild child. You'll always be a little wild child." Woo! Dowdu was so angry that he cried. Chapter 5:18. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Dowdu stopped crying. He wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes and replied, "Daddy is right. Dowdu is a man. He can't cry so easily. Dowdu is the best." Mu Lianfeng praised. He was indeed his good son. Sometimes, if you can't talk it out, you can use force to solve it. Daddy is right behind you. What are you afraid of? Mu Lianfeng encouraged him. If anyone dares to bully you next time, beat them to death. Daddy will take responsibility if anything happens. When Dowdu heard this, he nodded heavily. Daddy, Dowdu understands. Xiao Yun was not beside them. If Xiao Yun knew about this, she would probably not know whether to laugh or cry. This Mu Lianfeng was even encouraging his children to fight. When Dowdu heard Mu Lianfeng's words, he glared at Zhao Tianyu. He rolled up his sleeves and began to fight with Zhao Tianyu. "I won't allow you to talk about me like that. See if I don't beat you to death." Zhao Tianyu was naturally not afraid of Dowdu's weak body. He gently pushed Dowdu back, and Dowdu sat on the ground. However, Dowdu did not cry this time. "Dowdu, get up," Mu Lianfeng said. Yes. After Dowdu got up again, he rushed towards Zhao Tianyu. This time, he directly grabbed Zhao Tianyu's arm and bit down hard. "Ah! It hurts!" Zhao Tianyu cried. Just as he was about to punch and kick Dowdu, Mu Lianfeng pulled Dowdu over and protected Dowdu in his arms. Mu Lianfeng slapped Zhao Tianyu, and Zhao Tianyu was slapped to the ground. He could not even get up. Zhao Tianyu felt wronged and cried, "Whoa." Seeing Zhao Tianyu being beaten up so badly, Dowdu chuckled. He felt that Zhao Tianan deserved it. Although Mu Lianfeng should not be so calculated with a child, he was such a protective person. Whoever bullied his son, no matter who it was, he would not let them off. Dowdu is amazing and brave. With Daddy here, Dowdu is not afraid, Dowdu said with a smile. Looking at this son of his, Mu Lianfeng's heart was filled with guilt. Based on the current situation, Dowdu had been bullied by the children in the village a lot in the past. Fortunately, he would always be by Dowdu's side in the future and would never let him suffer any grievances. "Father, Brother Tianyu is the worst. He used to bully Dowdu all the time. Dowdu is so happy to be beaten by you today," Dowdu said in a soft voice. "Is that so?" Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Tianyu on the ground, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Yes. In that case, Daddy will continue to teach him a lesson for you." Xiao Yun had just finished her work when she saw Li Chuiying coming over crying. As soon as she saw her, she threw herself in front of Xiao Yun, and begged, "Yun, I beg you, please save my Tianyu. Otherwise, he will be beaten to death." Xiao Yun was a little confused. What did it have to do with her that Xiao Tianyu was beaten up? Why did Li Chuiying come over to beg her? Second aunt, what's the matter? How would I know what happened if you came over without any reason? Xiao Yun replied indifferently. Chapter 519. Xiao Yun was even more confused. When did Mu Lianfeng go to teach Xiao Tianyu a lesson? Yun girl, I beg you. We wronged you in the past. Auntie will never speak ill of you in the future, as long as you can save my Tianyu. Li Chuiying cried pitifully. Xiao Yun didn't understand the specific situation, so she couldn't immediately agree. She believed that Mu Lianfeng must have his own reasons for doing so. Seeing that Xiao Yun didn't say anything, Li Chuiying begged Liang Jinxiao, third sister-in-law, please help me persuade Yun girl. I only have one precious son, Tianyu. If something happens to him, I don't want to live. Seeing that Li Chuiying was crying so pitifully, Liang Jinxiao sighed and helped Li Chuiying to plead, Yun, please help second aunt. Xiao Yun frowned, take me there first. Okay. Li Chuiying hurriedly responded and led Xiao Yun away. When Xiao Yun arrived, she didn't see that Mu Lianfeng was beating or scolding Xiao Tianyu. Instead, Xiao Tianyu was kneeling on the ground with a thorny thorn in front of him. What was going on? Xiao Yun walked over and asked, What are you, mother? Father is helping Dao to teach brother Tianyu a lesson. But I didn't see you do anything. Father said that brother Tianyu has to do it himself. He has to take the thorn on the ground and hit himself until father is satisfied. Only then will he let brother Tianyu go. But brother Tianyu still doesn't dare to hit himself. Dao explained. This, Xiao Yun was a bit cruel. When the thorny thorn stabbed him, there would be bloody marks on his body. It was no wonder that Li Chuiying came crying, fearing that her son would be beaten to death. Indeed, he could not withstand such torment. Xiao Tianyu knelt on the ground and cried. When he saw Li Chuiying coming over, he cried even louder. Although Li Chuiying felt sorry for Xiao Tianyu, she didn't dare to be presumptuous in front of the Shitzi. My son, if you don't make a move, you'll have to keep kneeling here until you hit yourself. Only then will I let you go. Since we can't escape, we might as well finish him off quickly, Mu Lianfeng said to Xiao Tianyu, who was lying on the ground. Ouch, you have to take responsibility for your actions when you bullied others. When you bullied Dao, why didn't you think that Dao was in pain too? Xiao Tianyu blinked his eyes. A 6-year-old child's mind was somewhat mature. He knew that he wouldn't be able to escape today, but he really didn't dare to prick himself with those thorny thorns. Yun girl, please beg the Shitzi to let Tianyu go. Li Chuiying tugged at Xiao Yun's skirt. Xiao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng's cold and handsome face. He had finally stood up for her son. What good would it do for her to interfere? Second aunt, you should be glad that the Shitzi didn't kill Tianyu and only punished him. Don't you know that Dao is the Shitzi's biological son? Not only did Tianyu call Dao a little bastard, he even bullied Dao. The Shitzi's punishment isn't too severe, right? When Xiao Yun's words came out, everyone present was stunned. Yun girl, what are you saying? Dao really is the Shitzi's biological son. Chapter 520. This. Li Chuiying wasn't an idiot. She naturally understood the consequences of Dao being Mu Lianfeng's son. She didn't know the specifics, but Mu Lianfeng definitely had his reasons for protecting Dao and Xiao Yun. She sighed helplessly and said to Xiao Tianyu, Tianyu, just hit yourself a few times. If you don't, mother won't be able to save you. Whoa, mother, it'll only hurt for a while. It'll be fine soon. Mother, good, good, good. Once you're done, mother will buy you some candy. Zhao Tianyu was afraid of Mu Lianfeng and was persuaded by Li Chuiying. In the end, he picked up the thorn and hit himself a few times. Mu Lianfeng wanted to punish the chicken to warn the monkey, so he didn't pursue the matter. From today onwards, no child would dare to say that Daodu was a bastard or bully Daodu. Let's go, Daodu. If anyone bullies you next time, just call them Daddy. Daddy will help you teach them a lesson no matter what. Okay. Daodu cheered. Mu Lianfeng finally lifted Daodu up and placed Daodu on his shoulder. Looking at the big and small shadows on the ground, Xiao Yun felt a touch of warmth in her heart. From now on, there was one more person who stood up to protect Daodu. It made her feel that no matter how difficult the road ahead was, she was no longer alone. Mother, come quickly, let's go home. Daodu turned his head and called out to Xiao Yun. Okay, mother will come right away. Xiao Yun said as she caught up with the father and son. Nothing major happened over the next few days. The men in town were gradually recruited to work in the mountains. Zhao Ping's marriage had reached a point where it was being discussed. Matchmaker Gao sent someone over to say that the man had agreed and was preparing for the wedding. The woman could also prepare. A few days later, the man's parents and Qin Yuan came to Shui Lan village with things. Yun, let's eat together at noon. Matchmaker Gao said that the man will come over later in the day and have lunch at our house. Your Jia's marriage is a big deal. It's best if all of our family is present. You're smart, you can help them deal with whatever they say. Liang Jinqiao said to Zhao Yun, on the way back from Yang City. Mu Lianfeng was having lunch on the mountain today. If he didn't come back, she could bring Daodu to Liang Jinqiao's place. So she replied, okay, mother, I'll help you cook later. Since they're here, they're guests after all. We have to make some delicious food to entertain them. Qiao Assis Tu's marriage to St. Otherwise, if this marriage is ruined, it will be difficult to find another one for your sister Ping. That's right. It wasn't easy to find a man who was willing to marry Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was also satisfied with him. It would be a pity if the marriage failed. Qiao didn't have the energy to worry about Zhao Ping's marriage. After returning to Shui Lan village, Xiao Yun put down her things and went straight to old Zhao's house. The man's family had already arrived. Qin Yuan's parents were about the same age as Xiao Yun's parents. However, because they were poorer than old Zhao's family and had more land to manage, they looked much older. They were dark and skinny and looked like honest people. They had just arrived. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao asked them to sit down. Ping pour them a glass of water. What are you doing? Liang Jinqiao urged. Zhao Ping reacted and immediately did as Liang Jinqiao instructed. Chapter 521. After all, they were her future in-laws. She had to leave a good impression on them. Uncle, aunt, you must be thirsty. Have some water. Zhao Ping poured 2 glasses of water and handed them over. The Qin couple smiled and took the glasses. Okay. Thank you. You're such a good child. Zhao Ping blushed slightly after being praised by the Qin couple. Zhao Ping then poured another glass for Qin Yuan and said, Brother Yuan, this is for you. Qin Yuan also took the glass and smiled at Zhao Ping. Thank you, Ping. You're welcome. We're going to be a family in the future. Why are you being so courteous? After Xiao Ping finished speaking, everyone present burst into laughter. The Qin couple said, "That's right. After the two children get married, we're going to be a family. Why are you being so courteous? You guys continue chatting. I'm going to the kitchen to cook," Liang Jinxiao said. "Sorry to trouble you, sister-in-law," Qin Yuan's mother said. Liang Jinxiao smiled slightly. "No problem. Mother, I'll help you too." Xiao Yun followed her mother. The mother and daughter could also hear the commotion in the house. Xiao Yun had prepared a lot of meat dishes. There was meat, fish, and all kinds of vegetables. In the countryside, even the new year might not necessarily be so delicious. In order to satisfy everyone, Xiao Yun personally cooked this meal. Her culinary skills were much better than Liang Jinxiao's. Moreover, she could stir-fry each ingredient in different ways. After a while, a fragrant smell wafted from the kitchen. The fragrance of the dishes floated all the way to the third branch's house. When the Qin family smelled the alluring fragrance of the dishes, they couldn't help but swallow their saliva. No wonder matchmaker Gao said that the bride's family was well-to-do. If they weren't well-to-do, they wouldn't be willing to eat such good food. The Qin couple smiled and said to Zhao Wenhua, "You're too polite. You're even treating us like this. It makes us feel a little embarrassed. After all, we didn't bring much. Sigh. Our family is too poor. We can't afford anything. Otherwise, we would definitely bring the best for you." Zhao Wenhua waved his hand and said, it's fine as long as he's here." As long as the intention was there, it didn't matter how many things there were. These days, the lives of us commoners aren't easy. Who doesn't have a difficult time? The Qin couple nodded in agreement. They thought that Zhao Wenhua was a reasonable person. It was naturally good to be in-laws with such a person. You must be tired after such a long journey. You can have a good meal later. My second daughter's cooking skills are pretty good, Zhao Wenhua said with a smile. With Zhao Wenhua's words and the occasional fragrance from the kitchen, the Qin family became even more impatient. They couldn't wait to eat immediately. Their family was poor and they couldn't even afford to eat rice, let alone these things. "Oh right, it's almost time to eat. Ping, do you want to take off the veil on your face? Otherwise, it won't be convenient for us to eat. Also, we haven't seen what Ping looks like," Qin Yuan's mother said. She was curious about Zhao Ping's appearance under the veil. Matchmaker Gao said that she was ugly, but with the veil, she didn't look that ugly. When Qin Yuan's mother said this, Zhao Ping became a little nervous. She could escape today, but she couldn't always wear a veil when she married into the family. She prepared herself. "I'm not good-looking. I'm afraid I'll scare you." Chapter 522. Zhao Ping was relieved after hearing the Zhao couple's words. Qin Yuan had always said that he didn't care about her appearance, so Zhao Ping took off the handkerchief on her face bashfully. The family Qin's people, who had said that they didn't care, were stunned when they saw Zhao Ping's appearance. The family Qin's people thought that Zhao Ping was just ugly, but they didn't expect Zhao Ping to be so ugly. The obvious birthmark on her face was a little shocking. They really didn't want to look at it a second time after seeing it. If they married her, they would have to face it every day. How could they stand it? The Qin couple pulled the corners of their mouths awkwardly. They didn't particularly mind it, but their son, they didn't want to scare him when they slept on the same bed in the future. The Qin couple glanced at Qin Yuan. Seeing that Qin Yuan's expression wasn't very good, he stared at Zhao Ping's face with a trace of disdain in his eyes. The Qin couple coughed softly to remind Qin Yuan. Disdain was disdain, but he couldn't show it in front of the host. Besides, Zhao Ping was indeed a little ugly. Her family was rich, and they themselves said that they didn't mind her appearance. If they broke off the engagement because of her appearance, it would be unkind of them. However, they were more or less dissatisfied with matchmaker Yu Gao in their hearts. She only said that Zhao Ping was ugly, but didn't say that Zhao Ping could be ugly to this extent. The Qin couple forced a smile and said to Zhao Ping, "Actually, it's okay. It's not that ugly. I've seen many people uglier than you." "Yuan, don't you think so?" Qin Yuan's mother, Mu Chunfang, sat next to Qin Yuan and poked Qin Yuan with her arm. Qin Yuan was stunned for a few seconds before he realized it. The corners of his mouth twitched as he replied, "Yes, that's right. Luckily, it's not that ugly." Although he said that, Qin Yuan didn't think so in his heart. He didn't want to look at Zhao Ping's face a second time. Perhaps Zhao Ping's appearance was far from what he had expected. He was a normal man. It would be a lie to say that he didn't care about a woman's appearance. If not for the fact that his family was poor, he would also want to marry a good-looking wife. When Zhao Ping heard the Qin couple and Qin Yuan say this, she felt relieved. She smiled shyly and stole glances at Qin Yuan from time to time. Qin Yuan felt extremely uncomfortable being stared at by Zhao Ping. It would have been fine if he was being stared at by a beauty, but he was being stared at by such an ugly woman. Qin Yuan had no choice but to look elsewhere. Zhao Wenhua and the Qin couple chatted for a long time. As they chatted, they had a rough understanding of Zhao Ping's family situation. Hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, their family was very rich. If Qin Yuan married Zhao Ping, then their family would more or less receive help in the future. Perhaps they wouldn't have to live such a hard life. When the Qin couple saw that their son was very unhappy, they thought that they should go back and persuade him to do some psychological homework. For their family, no matter what, they had to marry Zhao Ping. In the kitchen, Zhao Yun and Liang Jinxiao worked together to prepare the dishes. They brought the dishes to the third branch's room and invited the Qin family to eat. Chapter 523. They never expected that the bride's family would have so much delicious food. There were fish and meat, and they were so hungry that they swallowed their saliva. Family Qin's family rarely ate meat in a year, so they could not resist the temptation of these dishes. Moreover, these dishes were so delicious that they were definitely more delicious than the meat they made. After all, they were not in their own home, so the Qin family restrained themselves and were too embarrassed to eat. They could only eat if the host allowed them to. While waiting for Zhao Wenhua's family to speak, they kept glancing at the dishes on the table. Liang Jinxiao laughed and said, "Come, hurry up and eat. We only prepared this much today. Don't be shy and eat to your heart's content." The Qin couple smiled at Liang Jinxiao and said, "Sister-in-law, your family's food is really good. There's fish and meat. Most people don't even have as many dishes as your family during the New Year." Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "You are important guests, so of course we have to treat you well. In the past, my family often didn't get to eat meat, but now we often get to eat meat. It's okay, when the days get better in the future, these won't be a problem." Liang Jinxiao did not mean anything else when he said these words, and he did not think too much about it. When the Qin couple heard this, they sighed in their hearts that Zhao Ping's family was really not ordinary. How good would it be if their family could eat meat often in the future? At the same time, the members of the Zhao family also sat around the table. The table was not big, so they could only squeeze together. Zhao Ping happily squeezed onto the same stool as Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan furrowed his brows slightly, appearing to be unhappy. Zhao Ping did not catch the expression on Qin Yuan's face. Instead, she continued to lean closer to Qin Yuan, as if she wanted to stick her whole body to Qin Yuan. Xiao Yun sighed. Even if Xiao Ping liked him, she shouldn't be like this, right? Aren't you afraid of incurring the wrath of the Qin Yuan by being so unreserved? In front of so many people, Xiao Yun couldn't remind Xiao Ping The Qin couple secretly winked at Qin Yuan. Only then did Qin Yuan restrain the disgust in his eyes. Eat, eat. It's not easy for our two families to gather together today. Let's have a good meal together. Don't be shy. Xiao Wenhua greeted with a smile. Father. Xiao Ping called out shyly. Xiao Wenhua asked, What's wrong, Ping Father, didn't little sister Yun give you a jar of good wine before? You don't even take out the good wine when treating people like this. Xiao Ping said bashfully. As he spoke, he glanced at the Qin couple. He was just trying to curry favor with them. Upon hearing that it was good wine, Qin Yuan's father, Qin Dahai's eyes lit up. His favorite drink was wine. However, with his family's financial situation, he couldn't even afford cheap wine, let alone other good wine. Xiao Wenhua patted his head and said, Ping is right. Look at my memory, I forgot to bring out the wine. I'll go get it. Liang Jinqiao stood up and took out the wine that Xiao Yun had brought over. Xiao Wenhua took it and filled Qin Dahai's bowl with wine. He hadn't even drunk it yet, but he could tell that it was good wine just by smelling the aroma. Chapter 524. On one hand, these words were meant for Xiao Ping, and on the other hand, for Qin Yuan to hear. He only hoped that by saying this, Qin Yuan would be able to accept Xiao Ping, Qin Yuan was somewhat displeased. He thought about how his father could sell him out just because of some wine. Come, don't just sit there. Hurry up and eat, hurry up and eat. Xiao Wenhua chuckled and called out to them. The Qin family was already impatient. When Xiao Wenhua said this, they did not hold back and began to eat. It was unknown if it was because they had never eaten such delicious food before, but the Qin family kept eating. They seemed to have forgotten that they were at someone else's house and did not hold back. Fish meat was good to begin with. With Xiao Yun's excellent cooking skills, to the Qin family, it was simply a heavenly delicacy. Xiao Yun was not very satisfied with the Qin family's performance at the dining table. Although she could understand that the Qin family was too poor and could not resist the temptation of delicious food, they kept eating as if they were afraid that others would snatch the food away. But they could not be like this. The Qin family gave Xiao Yun the same feeling that Ma Xiaofeng gave her. It was a very bad feeling. Xiao Yun's opinion of the Qin family was not important. It was fine as long as Xiao Ping was satisfied. When Xiao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao saw that the Qin family was eating so happily, they did not want to talk about other things. They wanted to spoil their mood and wait for them to finish eating. At the dining table, Xiao Ping attentively kept putting food into Qin Yuan's bowl. Qin Yuan stared at the chopsticks that Xiao Ping had eaten and felt extremely disgusted. If it were not for the fact that the food was too delicious, he would not have taken it. After they finally finished eating, Xiao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao prepared to have a good chat with the Qin couple about their children's marriage. Ouch! Qin Yuan cried out as she clutched her stomach. Her face was slightly red, and she looked a little shy and embarrassed. What's wrong, Yuan? Mu Chunfang asked Qin Yuan with concern. I have a stomachache, and I want to go to the toilet, Qin Yuan said in a low voice. This was the first time he had come to the girl's house, and he had already told her about it. It was indeed embarrassing. The dishes on the table had not been cleaned up, and the others were very embarrassed. Fortunately, these words were not heard during the meal just now. Otherwise, this table of people would not be able to continue eating. When the others did not know what to say, Xiao Ping jumped out and said, "Big brother Yuan, then go and poop. I'll bring some toilet paper to accompany you." After Xiao Ping finished speaking, she eagerly took out a tissue and handed it to Qin Yuan. "Let's go, big brother Yuan. I'll go with you," Xiao Ping said. She said it with a natural expression and did not think there was anything wrong with it. Qin Yuan was completely stunned. He, a man, was going to poop. Why was she, a woman, following him? The Qin couple was shocked by Xiao Ping's words. They thought that as a girl, how could she have the nerve to say such words? Didn't she know how to be a little reserved? She said that she was passionate, but she could not follow a man to poop. After all, they were not married yet. It was really not good for her to do so. Chapter 525. Xiao Ping thought that Qin Yuan cared about her. Well, I won't go with you. You can do it by yourself. Xiao Yun stood aside. She couldn't describe her feelings. She wondered if Xiao Ping was retarded. Apart from this explanation, she couldn't think of any reason why Xiao Ping would do such a thing. This idiot hoped that she could get married successfully this time. She should go and harm other people. She shouldn't continue to stay at home and harm them. Qin Yuan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then I'll go. Okay, brother Yuan, the latrine is just behind my yard. Be careful. Okay. Qin Yuan answered and quickly ran out with his legs between his legs. If Xiao Ping continued to delay him, he would probably shit into his pants. Seeing Qin Yuan rushing out in a hurry, Xiao Yun knew that Qin Yuan was anxious. Family Qin didn't have much money, so they usually didn't eat good food. There wasn't much oil in the dishes. Today, they came to her house and ate so many oily dishes at once. It would be strange if their stomachs didn't complain. Ordinary people's stomachs couldn't stand it. Zhao Yun deliberately didn't stop the family Qin when she saw them eating like crazy just now. She knew that if they ate too much, she would be the one who suffered in the end. Qin Yuan walked out of old Zhao's yard. After catching a glimpse of the latrine, he rushed over as fast as he could. But before he could enter, he suddenly stopped in his tracks. Because he heard a series of fart sounds coming from inside. Without a doubt, someone was defecating inside. Qin Yuan felt that his feces were about to come out. He finally rushed to the latrine with great difficulty, but there was someone inside. At this moment, he was so anxious that he didn't know how to describe it. It was as if he was doing acupuncture. It was abnormally uncomfortable. Just when he was about to suffocate, the person inside let out a series of dong 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 sounds and made a series of comfortable sounds. It sounded like a girl's voice. He frowned, thinking that if it was a man, it would be easier to negotiate. Since he had enjoyed himself for a while, he could quickly wipe his ass and let him in. He wasn't a child, so he couldn't just randomly pick a spot to squat down and poop. Qin Yuan wanted to say something, but he was afraid that if he did, the girl inside would fall into the latrine pit. After all, a big man was standing outside when a girl was taking a dump. She would be scared out of her wits. Thus, he clamped his legs together and prepared to wait outside. He would go in when the people inside came out. Suddenly, he regretted not bringing Xiao Ping. Otherwise, Xiao Ping could tell the woman inside. To the disappointment of the Qin Yuan, the people inside didn't look like they were about to come out. Instead, they were humming a tune inside. Qin Yuan was shocked. The latrine was so smelly. How could he have the leisure to stay in there and not come out? This girl was a little too strange. La 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 ah. no, 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 if I don't poop now, it'll really reach my crotch. Qin Yuan had no choice but to clear his throat and say to the woman in the latrine, Miss, I don't know if you're done with your sh*t. I heard you were singing, so I guess you're almost done. Why don't you wipe your ass and let me in? Chapter 526. No, no, I'm not a pervert. Miss, don't get agitated. I just had a stomachache and wanted to take a dump. You were here when I came over. I couldn't hold it in anymore, so I spoke to you. I didn't see anything wrong with you. Qin Yuan hurriedly explained. He was a decent person. How could he be called a pervert? He didn't want others to misunderstand him. Damn pervert. You're in someone else's latrine and you still say you're not a pervert. This latrine belongs to my family. Why are you here? Someone inside asked angrily. This person was none other than Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui was no longer in the mood to continue taking a dump and singing. She hurriedly took a piece of tissue paper and wiped her butt. The moment she came out, she saw a fair-skinned little boy. He was quite good-looking. However, his face was red from holding it in. Seeing Zhao Xinhui come out, Qin Yuan hurriedly rushed into the latrine and closed the door. He took off his pants and emptied his bowels into the latrine. Zhao Xinhui's mouth twitched a few times. She didn't even have time to say anything before he rushed in. Huff, huff. It feels so good. Qin Yuan panted. At this moment, he realized that one of the most enjoyable things in the world was probably the moment he suddenly released his bowels after holding it in for too long. Qin Yuan's stomach felt much better and he wasn't in such a hurry. Instead, he squatted in the latrine and continued to take his time to clean it. Zhao Xinhui, who was outside the latrine, didn't leave immediately. Anyway, she was thick-skinned and didn't know how to be shy. She didn't feel anything when she saw a man taking a dump. Moreover, he hadn't explained anything. How could she let him go just like that? Hence, she asked Qin Yuan inside, I'm guessing you're Zhao Ping's blind date, right? Zhao Xinhui knew that Zhao Ping's future in-laws had come today. When they came, she was in the house and didn't see them. Since Zhao Xinhui was talking to him, Qin Yuan couldn't not answer, so he answered, yes. After replying to Zhao Xinhui, he realized that it was strange. How could he talk to a woman while taking a dump? Oh, it's true. Zhao Xinhui snorted. What's wrong? Qin Yuan asked curiously. That's exactly why you're so brave. How could you bear to lay your hands on such an ugly woman like Zhao Ping? Zhao Xinhui's tone carried a hint of mockery. Well, Miss Gu, to be honest with you, I'm from a poor family, and I'm lucky to have a wife. Although this Ping is a little ugly, she can give birth. At the very least, she can pass on her ancestral line. Qin Yuan explained honestly. Zhao Xinhui nodded. So that's what happened. He suddenly began to sympathize with Qin Yuan. Just because his family was poor, he had to marry an ugly woman. Oh, I wonder if you're hers, Zhao Xinhui answered. I'm her aunt. Oh, Ping has an aunt. I didn't expect that you'd be so young and beautiful. If you didn't say it yourself, other people wouldn't be able to tell. Compared with Ping, you're like a fairy. Qin Yuan stuck his head out of the latrine and had a glance at Zhao Xinhui. After seeing Zhao Xinhui's appearance clearly, he complimented her. Zhao Xinhui was flattered by Qin Yuan's compliment, and felt very happy in her heart. Chapter 527. Afraid that Qin Yuan would misunderstand, Zhao Xinhui explained, you're a fresh flower, and she's cow dung. Qin Yuan smiled shyly. I'm not a fresh flower, am I? Zhao Xinhui stared at Qin Yuan's face carefully. You're really good looking. Anyway, Ping doesn't deserve your good looks. Sigh. Qin Yuan sighed. The more he spoke, the sadder he felt. He thought about Zhao Ping's face. If he had to face her every day and have children with her, how would he live in the future? Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Xinhui's face again and wondered why his blind date today was not Zhao Xinhui, but Zhao Ping. The two of them chatted in front of the latrine for a long time. Zhao Xinhui thought that Qin Yuan was interesting, while Qin Yuan thought that Zhao Xinhui was good-looking and wanted to get closer to her. When Qin Yuan's stomach was clean and he realized that it was time to get up, his legs were numb because he had been squatting for too long. Ouch! Qin Yuan cried out. Fortunately, he had quick reflexes and grabbed the latrine's wooden door. Otherwise, he might have fallen into the manure vat. Huff, huff. Qin Yuan patted his chest, still in a state of shock. Fortunately, he had grabbed the door in time. If he hadn't grabbed it in time, or if he hadn't, he would have fallen into the manure vat. He would have been covered in manure and would have stinked to death. The main thing was to stink. It didn't matter if it was a little disgusting. Such an embarrassing thing would definitely make him a laughingstock. Zhao Xinhui heard Qin Yuan's movements and hurriedly asked, "What's wrong with you?" My legs are numb. I can't stand. Sigh, what should I do? Qin Yuan sighed. Zhao Xinhui felt that Qin Yuan was acting this way because she had chatted with her for a long time. She also had to bear some responsibility. Thus, he said to Qin Yuan, "Let me give you a hand." Qin Yuan blushed and asked shyly, This isn't good, is it? I am a man." Zhao Xinhui interrupted Qin Yuan and said, "That's enough. Let's not talk about these useless things. When you and Ping get married in the future, you'll be my niece-in-law. What's the big deal? Besides, there's no one here. If I don't help you, who will? Could it be that you want to stay in this latrine pit? Don't wait until I'm gone, and no one will know if you fall in and drown." Hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, Qin Yuan didn't refuse. He smiled shyly and said, That's fine. Auntie thanks you." Qin Yuan didn't know how to address Zhao Xinhui. She could only follow Zhao Ping and call Zhao Xinhui Auntie. "You're welcome." Zhao Xinhui waved her hand. As she spoke, she walked towards the latrine pit. The moment she entered, she screamed. "You! Why aren't you wearing pants?" Zhao Xinhui asked as she pointed at Qin Yuan's thing. However, after Zhao Xinhui asked the question, her gaze didn't leave Qin Yuan's thing. She couldn't help but take a few more glances. She had never seen a man's thing before. However, she had seen a child's thing once. It was definitely different from an adult's. Zhao Xinhui was a little puzzled as she looked at Qin Yuan's thing, which was the size of a bean, hidden in the dark forest below. Why was it so small? In the past, when she listened to her parents, her mother would always complain that her father's thing was too big and that it would be uncomfortable to stuff it in. She then looked at Qin Yuan's. It shouldn't be uncomfortable to stuff it in, right? Chapter 528. As he spoke, he hurriedly reached out to pull up his pants. Unfortunately, with one hand holding the door and the other holding up his pants, he was unable to fasten the belt of his pants. What should he do? If he let go of the other hand, he would not be able to support himself and would fall into the latrine pit. "Auntie, can you help me up now? I have to pull up my pants." "I can't do it with one hand," Qin Yuan said awkwardly. "Well, why don't I help you?" "You can hold the door yourself," Zhao Xinhui said. "Auntie, That's not very good. Qin Yuan felt that he had never been stared at by a woman. Moreover, she even offered to help him pull up his pants. If someone else stared at him, he would probably feel very uncomfortable. He didn't know why, but when Zhao Xinhui saw it, he felt some joy in his heart. I'm a woman. If I can't hold you up, both of us will fall into the latrine pit. Let me help you. Qin Yuan thought that what Zhao Xinhui said made sense, so he nodded and said, Okay, Auntie, help me. Thank you. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Zhao Ping stretched out her hands and looked at Qin Yuan's thing. She could not help but want to reach out and flick it a few times. In the end, she resisted and quickly pulled up Qin Yuan's pants. The moment Zhao Xinhui leaned over, Qin Yuan's heart could not stop beating. He felt a rush of excitement. This girl was so good. She was good-looking and kind-hearted. Done. Zhao Xinhui clapped her hands and said, Thank you, Auntie. You're welcome. Let's go out. The latrine pit stinks. It was fine when I was pooping just now. Why is it so smelly after you're done? Zhao Xinhui fanned the smell and said while pinching her nose. Qin Yuan smiled awkwardly and said, Auntie, maybe it's because your poop smells good and mine smells bad. Zhao Xinhui was amused by Qin Yuan's words. This man's mouth really knew how to make people happy. Even her feces were said to be fragrant by him. His impression of Qin Yuan had greatly improved. Don't talk nonsense. Do you think I'm stupid? Whose shit smells good? Let's go, let's get out of here quickly. Okay, Auntie. Qin Yuan answered happily. Inside the house, the family Qin couple, Zhao Wenhua, and Liang Jinxiao were discussing the marriage of Zhao Ping, and Qin Yuan's children. He wanted to set a date as soon as possible and hold the wedding ceremony. Zhao Ping waited for a long time, but Qin Yuan did not return. She said somewhat anxiously, Why isn't Big Brother Yuan back yet? Did he fall into the latrine? Zhao Yuner was drinking water when she choked on Zhao Ping's words. Zhao Ping was such a weirdo. She would never stop until she said something shocking. Yeah, Yuan has been pooping for a long time. Why isn't he back yet? Mu Chunfang also felt that it was strange and frowned. Maybe his stomach hurts too much, so he stayed in the latrine pit for a while longer, Qin Dahai replied and told Mu Chunfang not to be too worried. Uncle, who poops for such a long time? His legs can't take it. Zhao Ping said anxiously. Qin Dahai thought that was indeed the case. If one stayed in the latrine pit for too long, their legs would become very numb. Chapter 529. Zhao Yun was just joking. She didn't expect Zhao Ping to take it seriously. Zhao Ping felt that Zhao Yun's words made sense, so she nodded in agreement. Little sister Yun you're right. I'll go take a look now, in case anything happens to Big Brother Yuan. This time, the Qin couple didn't stop Zhao Ping They were also worried about Qin Yuan. Then, Ping you should go and take a look. Please don't let anything happen to him. Yeah. Let's go take a look. Yes, yes. Zhao Ping nodded heavily. I'll go now. After saying that, she ran out of the room of the third branch. Zhao Yun's mouth twitched. Weirdo, too freaking weirdo. She really didn't know what to say. They were clearly born from the same mother. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were also quite normal. Why did they have to give birth to such a brainless person like Zhao Ping when the rest of them were fine? She couldn't care less about Zhao Ping's matters. She just hoped that she wouldn't cause trouble for her. When Zhao Ping rushed to the latrine, she discovered that Qin Yuan was actually with Zhao Xinhui. Moreover, the two of them were even hugging each other. Zhao Ping was instantly enraged. She thought that something had happened to Qin Yuan and ran over worriedly. She didn't expect that Qin Yuan was actually intimate with her aunt. Zhao Ping already treated Qin Yuan as her man. How could she stand him being so intimate with someone else? She believed that Qin Yuan was fine. It was definitely her aunt who seduced Qin Yuan. After all, her aunt didn't have a man. When she saw her aunt, she couldn't help but reach out to snatch him. B*TCH, B*TCH. Zhao Ping fiercely gritted her teeth and rushed towards Zhao Xinhui. Aunt, why are you so despicable? How dare you seduce my man? Let me tell you, Big Brother Yuan is mine, and only mine. Don't even think about snatching him away. Otherwise, I'll tear your face apart. Let's see how you can get married in the future. Zhao Ping said angrily. She stared at Zhao Xinhui's face with jealousy. She knew that her aunt was good-looking, and the clothes she wore were even prettier than hers. It was because of this that she was able to seduce people. Men liked flirtatious women. Ouch! How could Zhao Xinhui withstand Zhao Ping's fierce push? He fell to the ground and couldn't get up. Zhao Ping, what are you doing? Zhao Xinhui glared at Zhao Ping, What a crazy woman. Qin Yuan was stunned. Then, she hurriedly fell to the ground and asked Zhao Xinhui with concern, Auntie, are you okay? Does it hurt? Shall I rub it for you? Seeing Qin Yuan's heartache and concern for Zhao Xinhui was even more jealous. She stomped her feet hatefully and said, Big Brother Yuan, how could you be seduced by my aunt? You don't know what kind of person my aunt is. She's terrible. She seduced you because she can't bear to see me doing well. She's not sincere towards you at all. You have to keep your eyes open. Don't be fooled by her. Qin Yuan was even more disgusted with Zhao Ping. She replied coldly, Zhao Ping, what nonsense are you talking about? Your aunt saw that my legs were numb from squatting in the latrine, so she just helped me up. She clearly had good intentions, but you made it sound like she was seducing you. You're the one with a filthy heart. Do you think everyone is like you? Zhao Ping was stunned. Her aunt only helped Qin Yuan up. Then didn't she really misunderstand her? Chapter 530. Zhao Xinhui was really thinking for Qin Yuan. She didn't want Qin Yuan to be so pitiful as to marry an ugly and stupid woman like Zhao Ping. Qin Yuan was silent for a moment. He didn't know whether he would marry her or not, but he did have to seriously discuss it with his parents later. Zhao Ping panicked and looked at Qin Yuan pitifully. Big Brother Yuan. I'm sorry. I was too impulsive and misunderstood you. Please don't be angry with me. It wasn't easy to find a man who was willing to marry her. Moreover, she felt pretty good about it. If she ran away just like that, wouldn't she suffer a huge loss? She probably wouldn't be able to find another man who was willing to marry her in the future. Humph. Qin Yuan snorted softly and continued to ignore Zhao Ping. At the end of the day, he was still angry at Zhao Ping for treating Zhao Xinhui this way. When he saw that Zhao Xinhui was injured, his heart also ached. Auntie, are you okay? Qin Yuan asked with concern, his gaze much gentler. I almost died. Zhao Xinhui replied. She glanced at Zhao Ping, and realized that she was looking at her with eyes full of jealousy. Zhao Xinhui curled her lips and decided to anger her again. Thus, she leaned on Qin Yuan's body and said to Qin Yuan, It hurts, it hurts, it hurts too. Zhao Xinhui pointed at her arms and legs. Auntie, let me help you rub them. Qin Yuan said attentively. On one hand, it was because his heart ached for Zhao Xinhui and he wanted to help her rub them. On the other hand, he felt that it was his blessing to be able to touch Zhao Xinhui's body. Zhao Xinhui replied faintly. Qin Yuan's hand then rested on Zhao Xinhui's body and started to rub and pinch. It still hurts. I can't walk. How can I go back? Zhao Xinhui said deliberately. Qin Yuan hurriedly squatted in front of Zhao Xinhui and said to Zhao Xinhui, Auntie, let me carry you back. All right, that's all we can do. Zhao Ping was already mad with jealousy. How could this be? How despicable. Her aunt did it on purpose. Because he had deliberately smiled at her just now, as if he was showing off. Big brother Yuan. Can you not carry my little aunt? You haven't carried me on your back, so how can you carry my aunt on your back? Zhao Ping's tone was full of jealousy. Zhao Ping, isn't this all your fault? If you didn't push your aunt until she sprained her ankle, your aunt wouldn't be unable to walk, right? But, that's enough. Don't say so much. Otherwise, I'll really hate you. Qin Yuan said angrily. After Qin Yuan said that, Zhao Ping didn't dare to continue speaking. She pursed her lips and had no choice but to let Qin Yuan carry Zhao Xinhui back. Zhao Ping had already cursed Zhao Xinhui in her heart. Despicable auntie. She would remember this. Zhao Xinhui lay on Qin Yuan's body and even deliberately turned her head to stick out her tongue at Zhao Ping. Humph. Zhao Yun saw that Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan had returned, but why was Qin Yuan carrying Zhao Xinhui on his back? Zhao Ping, who was following behind, was simply like a resentful wife. Zhao Yun's heart suddenly judged that something interesting had happened just now. Qin Yuan first sent Zhao Xinhui to the room. Auntie. Rest well then. I'm going out. Although he said that, he couldn't bear to do so in his heart. He glanced at the beautiful girl in front of him and couldn't even move his feet. Okay. Zhao Xinhui replied. Next time you come over, continue to play with me. Chapter 531. When Qin Yuan was about to leave, Zhao Xinhui suddenly stopped him. Qin Yuan asked nervously, Aunt, what's wrong? Come here. Zhao Xinhui beckoned Qin Yuan over with her finger. Aunt. Qin Yuan was fascinated by Zhao Xinhui's beautiful face and moved closer to her happily. Aunt, what's wrong? Zhao Xinhui didn't say anything, but kissed Qin Yuan's cheek when Qin Yuan moved closer. Qin Yuan was stunned. What was going on? Zhao Xinhui kissed him. Did this mean that Zhao Xinhui also had a good impression of him? Thinking of that, Qin Yuan couldn't help getting excited. If Zhao Xinhui also liked him and was willing to be with him, then even if he had to live a hard life, he wouldn't marry Zhao Pinger. When he was about to say something, Zhao Xinhui whispered in his ear, Let's go now. Thank you for what you did today. Qin Yuan blushed and stammered, It's nothing. I'm happy to do it. Zhao Xinhui smirked. Hurry up and get out. Otherwise, that last ping will really rush into my room and cause trouble for me. Sure, Qin Yuan was reluctant to leave Zhao Xinhui's room. As he expected, he found Zhao Ping waiting outside and craning her neck to see what was going on inside. Qin Yuan frowned and hated Zhao Ping more and more. Brother Yuan, Zhao Ping greeted Qin Yuan the moment he walked out. Qin Yuan ignored Zhao Ping and walked straight away. Zhao Ping immediately followed Qin Yuan. Brother Yuan, please don't ignore me, okay? Shut up. Don't bother me. Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping both went to the third branch's room, and Zhao Yun felt the subtle change in their relationship. It was getting interesting, and Zhao Yun was curious about what had happened just now. Qin Yuan sat down in front of Mr. and Mrs. Qin without saying a word. It was hard to tell whether he was happy or not. Mr. and Mrs. Qin were chatting happily with Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao. Liang Jinqiao agreed. If Zhao Ping successfully got married, she would be given at least 5 taels of silver as dowry. Liang Jinqiao did not have 5 taels of silver with him at the moment, and he was prepared to borrow it from Zhao Yun and return it in the future. Zhao Yun naturally had no objections. If they really gave away Zhao Ping, this weirdo, she would be willing to give away 10 taels of silver, let alone 5 taels of silver. When Mr. and Mrs. Qin heard that Zhao Ping's family actually had so much dowry, they were even more determined to let Qin Yuan marry Zhao Ping. The two families agreed to the marriage for the time being. As for when the wedding would be held, they would decide on the date later. During this period of time, they could also let Qin Yuan come over more often. The two children could spend time together and cultivate their relationship. In the afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Qin stood up and said goodbye. Sister-in-law, that's all we have to say. We will go back first, and let Yuan come over alone later, Mu Chunfang said. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao did not ask them to stay, then you can go back first. Okay, thank you for your hospitality today. It's nothing, Liang Jinqiao said with a smile, and at the same time, he went to the kitchen to take something out. There was half a kilogram of meat, 10 eggs, and 2 fish. You can take these back. It's also a little gift from us. We know that your life is not easy. Chapter 532. It wasn't appropriate for Qin Yuan to accept the gifts immediately, so he said, Sister-in-law, you're too polite. It's already troublesome for us to come here. How can we accept your gifts? It's fine. Take it. We'll be in-laws in the future. You don't have to be so polite. Well, we'll take it. Qin Yuan and Qin Yuan were delighted. They were just being polite. How could they not accept so many good gifts? Mother, let's go. Qin Yuan said. Be careful on your way back. I know. You don't have to walk us out. Let's go home. Okay. Zhao Yun and her family didn't go back to the house until Qin Yuan and Qin Yuan left old Zhao's yard. Zhao Yun's impression of the Qin couple was even worse. She knew that they were greedy when she saw their eyes. She wondered if it was because they were too poor that they developed this mentality. Zhao Ping sat on the stool angrily. Liang Jinqiao asked with concern, What's wrong, Ping? Why do you look unhappy? Mother, Aunt Qin seduced my man. Zhao Ping said. She directly called Qin Yuan her man. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao frowned and said, Ping, you're not married yet. You'll be laughed at if you say that. Mother, I'll be married to Qin Yuan in the future. He's my man. Mother, you don't know. Aunt Qin is too much. She can't get married and can't find a man, so she wants to seduce my man. Please help me. Looking at Zhao Ping's angry and anxious expression, Zhao Yun couldn't help laughing. Liang Jinqiao sighed. Ping, how can I help you? You think too much. Don't worry. Your aunt has high standards. I'm sure she won't like Qin Yuan. Moreover, Qin Yuan's parents have already discussed your marriage with us, so they won't go back on their word, right? After being comforted by Liang Jinqiao, Zhao Yun felt that Liang Jinqiao's words made sense. Mom, can I really marry Qin Yuan? Of course he can. Didn't you see that he didn't say anything when I told his parents about your marriage? Isn't that a tacit agreement? That's good. Xiao Ping suddenly felt much better. On the other side, the Qin couple was on their way back. The Qin couple was in a great mood. They ate a delicious meal and brought back so many good things. Mu Chunfang whispered into Qin Yuan's ear, Yuan, look at this. Ping Er's family is really generous. If you marry Ping our family's life will be much better. Speaking of this, Qin Yuan pulled a long face. Mother, am I really going to marry Xiao Ping What's wrong, Yuan Are you going back on your word now? Mu Chunfang asked a little anxiously. Qin Dahai was also a little anxious. Yes, Yuan what's wrong with you? Father, mother. I just think that Xiao Ping is too ugly and stupid. I'll definitely feel uncomfortable being with her. Chapter 533. Qin Dahai also agreed, Yuan, your mother is right. No matter what, you have to marry Pinger for the sake of our family. Qin Yuan looked at his poor parents and his foolish older brother at home and sighed. He could only suffer in exchange for a better life for his family. Father, mother. Fine, we'll do as you say. Alas. That's a good boy. After the things in the third branch were settled, Zhao Yuner went back. As soon as she came back, she saw Mu Lianfeng sitting on a stool. He seemed to be unhappy and sulking. Zhao Yun felt curious. What's going on? Who provoked him? Mu Lianfeng, why are you sitting there like an idiot? Zhao Yuner walked over and asked. Mu Lianfeng raised his head with a bitter face and asked Zhao Yuner, Yuner, who is the Uncle Lu that Dao mentioned? Zhao Yuner was stunned. Why did this guy ask this out of the blue? Yuner, why aren't you talking? Mu Lianfeng sounded even more jealous. Zhao Yuner was curious why Mu Lianfeng suddenly mentioned Lu Lei. What did Dao and Mu Lianfeng talk about? The corner of her mouth twitched a few times. It's Lu Lei. Don't you know him? Lu Lei. Mu Lianfeng frowned. He had a little impression of that name. He had met him before. Yeah, except for him, Dao doesn't know any other Uncle Lu. What did Dao say? Look at you, you're so jealous. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but tease him like a little wife. Oh, nothing. Mu Lianfeng sighed. Nothing. Zhao Yuner glanced at Mu Lianfeng. Do you think I'll believe you? Just tell me what you want to say. I don't like secrets and suspicions when we're together. If you have any doubts, I can explain it to you clearly. Zhao Yuner knew that if they didn't treat each other honestly, there would definitely be problems if there were suspicions. Since Zhao Yuner said so, Mu Lianfeng didn't hide the truth and told her the reason. It turned out that today when he asked Dao who treated him better and who Dao liked. Dao mentioned that before Mu Lianfeng came, the man who treated Dao the best was Lu Lei, the Uncle Lu that Dao mentioned. At that time, Lu Lei often came to Zhao Yuner's place to help. Mu Lianfeng was very jealous when he thought about how a man often came to Zhao Yuner's side in the past 3 years. At the same time, he felt even more guilty towards Zhao Yuner. Why wasn't he by Zhao Yuner's side when she needed him the most? So much so that another man took care of and protected them. Mu Lianfeng also explained his feelings in his heart. Zhao Yun couldn't help but laugh. You are jealous of the wrong person. In fact, you should be thanking her, right? At least when you weren't around, someone helped us. As for me and Lu Lei, you don't have to worry. If I were interested in him, I would be with him now. After Zhao Yuner said this, Mu Lianfeng's heart suddenly became a lot more cheerful. Yuner liked him. It was fate. Since she wasn't interested in Lu Lei, why should he be jealous? He did have to thank him for helping Xiao Yuner and her son in the past 3 years. Chapter 534. Give him something. Yes, pick some gifts to express your gratitude. He helped you and your mother. As his father and husband, I can't not say anything. Wouldn't that make me seem very heartless? Xiao Yun was amused by Mu Lianfeng. He really had a lot of ideas. However, Xiao Yun didn't have any objections to Mu Lianfeng expressing his gratitude. If you want to give him something, then give him something. Mu Lianfeng nodded in response. For a moment, Mu Lianfeng didn't know what to give. He felt that it would be better to give him some money. Thus, he took out 100 taels of silver and said to Xiao Yun, take me there. Are you sure you want to give him money? Xiao Yun frowned. She felt that it wasn't very good to give him money. But we don't know what he wants. If we give him something impractical, wouldn't it be of no help at all? Xiao Yun felt that Mu Lianfeng's words were somewhat reasonable. All right then. Let's go. The two of them walked towards Lu Lei's house together. When Xiao Yun and Mu Lianfeng arrived, Lu Lei was chopping wood in his courtyard. Brother Lei Zi. Xiao Yun called out. After hearing Xiao Yun's voice, Lu Lei's heart was filled with joy. However, when he looked up, he found that Xiao Yun was followed by Mu Lianfeng. Brother Lei Zi. Xiao Yun came in front of Lu Lei and smiled. Lu Lei wiped the beads of sweat on his forehead and sized up Mu Lianfeng. He knew Mu Lianfeng's identity, but he didn't have any fear in front of Mu Lianfeng. He straightened his back and said faintly, I don't know why Lord Shizi is here. Mu Lianfeng was not bothered by Lu Lei's attitude. Instead, he directly stated his intentions. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Lu Lei frowned. He was not happy. His attitude towards Mu Lianfeng was still cold and indifferent. Your Highness, you don't have to express your gratitude. I was willing to take care of Yun and Dao De back then. Big brother Lu, you don't have to be polite with him. With this money, you can buy some land. When the time comes, you can even get a wife. Lu Lei took a deep breath. I really don't need it. Yuner, I appreciate your and Shizi's good intentions. I'm living a good life by myself now. I don't need to buy a field. I don't need this 100 taels of silver at all. Xiao Yun didn't like to force people. Lu Lei's attitude was already very clear. Thinking about it, sending money over was indeed too abrupt. All right then, Brother Lei, why don't you come to my house for dinner tonight? Don't refuse this, okay? Lu Lei couldn't refuse, so he nodded and said, all right then. Yun, I'll go to your place for dinner tonight. Yes. Then I'll go back and prepare first. Okay. Watching Xiao Yun and Mu Lianfeng's backs as they left, Lu Lei clenched his fists. He never expected that Shizi's father was Daodu's biological father. In this way, he didn't even need to think about being together with Xiao Yun. The last bit of hope in his heart suddenly disappeared at this moment. Lu Lei felt a little desolate in his heart. Big brother Lu. They're too much. Xiao Hong walked over angrily. She was at the side just now and heard everything. Seeing Xiao Hong walk over, Lu Lei was stunned. Xiao Hong explained, Big brother Lu, my mother made quite a lot of biscuits. I wanted to send some over to you. I didn't expect to see this scene. Chapter 535. Xiao Hong continued, Brother Lu, aren't they just a little richer? They used money to humiliate others. Xiao Yun is too much. She clearly knows that you're good to her because you like her, but now she's asking the heir to come over and take the money to cut off all ties with you. She's a greedy woman. That's why she thought of using this method to humiliate others. Lu Lei said unhappily, "Enough, stop talking. Brother Lu, you still want to protect Zhao Yun, don't you? Don't you see what kind of person she is? Brother Lu, I know you like her, but you can't continue to be like this. There's no possibility between you and her anymore. Don't you care about my feelings for you? You know that I like you." As Xiao Hong spoke, she moved her body forward and wanted to stick to Lu Lei's body. "Xiao Hong, you're a girl. Don't be like this. It's not good if others see you like this." Lu Lei was scared and moved away gratefully. "Brother Lu, don't you like me at all? Why don't you consider me when Zhao Yun doesn't like you?" Xiao Hong's eyes were red and there were tears in her eyes. She looked pitiful. "Xiao Hong, give me some time." Seeing that Xiao Hong was about to cry, Lu Lei couldn't bear to say it. Xiao Hong was a little excited. "Okay, Brother Lu, I'll wait for you." Xiao Hong thought to herself. It wasn't easy for Lu Lei to be willing to consider her now. She would wait slowly. She believed that Lu Lei would agree one day. She didn't know that the shameless scene of her pestering Lu Lei just now had been seen by someone else. This person was Ma Xiaofeng. Seeing Xiao Hong like this, she didn't say anything. After all, Xiao Hong had helped her before. She couldn't tell others about it. However, seeing Xiao Hong like this, Ma Xiaofeng thought that she wasn't young anymore. Should she learn from Xiao Hong and take the initiative to seduce men? After all, she could marry a good man while she was young. That would make her life easier in the future. Otherwise, when she was older, her mother might casually marry her off or sell her. On the way back, Mu Lianfeng asked cautiously, "Yuner, is Lu Lei very unhappy? What do you think? If we take the money directly, it'll be like giving alms. Will they be happy?" "All right, it's my fault." Zhao Yuner sighed and said, "There's nothing we can do about it. If you want to be grateful, I'll see if I can find an opportunity to help him in the future." "Got it, Yun, Mu Lianfeng nodded. Zhao Yuner smiled. "Don't think so much. Let's go back and prepare something delicious." "All right." Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng arrived at the door of their house. Seeing Daodu squatting on the ground and crying, Mu Lianfeng hurriedly ran over and asked Daodu worriedly, "Daodu, what's wrong? Did someone bully you?" Mu Lianfeng's brows knitted together, and his eyes suddenly became sharp. As soon as he saw that his son might have been bullied, the coldness that burst out from his body made people feel scared. Daodu raised his head. "Dad, Daodu wasn't bullied. It was Little Hay who was bullied." As Daodu spoke, he carried Little Hay out of his arms. Chapter 536. Daodu, what happened to Little Hay? Zhao Yun looked at the wounds on Little Hay's body. She was shocked and worried. Being asked by Zhao Yun, Daodu cried even harder. "All right, Daodu, don't cry. Tell me, what happened to Little Hay?" Zhao Yun squatted down and touched Daodu's head. Mu Lianfeng also comforted him, "Daodu, you're a man. Don't cry. Tell me what happened." Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Daodu wiped his tears and hugged Little Hay. "Father, it was Big Gray who bit Little Hay. Today, when I took Little Hay out to play, we ran into Big Gray. It chased after Little Hay and bit him, but I couldn't beat Big Gray, so I couldn't protect Little Hay." Daodu's tone was full of self-blame. Little Hay was his companion, and Daodu felt that he should protect Little Hay well. The Big Gray that Daodu mentioned was Zhao Yun's eldest grandmother, Mrs. Hu. She was the one who had come to ask for help a few days ago. In Xiao Yun's memory, there was a big gray dog in Mrs. Hu's house. Its tail was cut, and it was very fierce. It was also very big, not much smaller than Xiao Mao. When the people and animals in the village saw Big Gray, they would avoid it. Otherwise, if they provoked Big Gray, they would either be bitten to death or disabled. Xiao Yun was glad that Dowdu was fine. If he was bitten by Big Gray, his condition might be worse than Little Hayes. Xiao Yun sighed and comforted him. All right, Dowdu, it's not your fault. Let's check on Little Hay first and see if he can still be saved. Okay. Show it to father. Mu Lianfeng said. Dowdy handed Little Black over. After Mu Lianfeng took it, he saw that Little Black was on the verge of death. The injuries on its body were quite serious. How could such a small puppy withstand the bites of a big dog? Mu Lianfeng frowned. It was a little tricky to deal with Blackie's injuries. Dowdu asked worriedly, Father, can Blackie still be saved? Xiao Yuna was also concerned. After all, she had raised Little Black for such a long time and had long developed feelings for it. Xiao Yuna also did not want anything to happen to Little Black. Such a cute and sensible puppy had died just like that. Dowdu would probably cry himself to death. There's still hope. Mu Lianfeng said. Really? Dowdu's eyes brightened up a little. Yes. Mu Lianfeng nodded, but we have to treat Little Black's injuries first. Later, we'll go up the mountain to find a few herbs and bandage Little Black's injuries. It'll only recover after a few days of rest. Okay. As long as Little Black can be saved. Dowdy said excitedly. Zhao Yuner hurriedly took out something like a cotton cloth and used it to treat Little Black's injuries. Just looking at the wounds was painful. Big Gray was really a little too cruel. He had bitten so deeply. Did he have to go so far for his own kind? Little Black's dying appearance was very pitiful. They did not know if it was because they had heard it, but it lifted its eyelids. Dowda looked at Little Black with a pained expression. Little Black, you have to hang in there. My father will go back to get some herbs to save you. You must be fine. Dowda still wants to play with you in the future. Chapter 537. Alright, Dowdu, leave Xiao Hei at home for now. Let's hurry to the mountains to pick herbs. Mu Lianfeng said. Yes. Dowda nodded heavily. Xiao Yun picked up a basket, and the three of them headed up the mountain. Fortunately, Shuilan village was next to the mountains, and there were all kinds of herbs on the mountain. Otherwise, who knew how long it would take to buy them at this time? Mu Lianfeng carried Dowdu on his back as they walked on the rugged mountain path. Xiao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng's broad back and Dowdu's small body together, and a warm feeling appeared in her heart. It was good to be reunited with father and son. Daddy, are you tired? Dowdu, do you want to come down and walk by yourself? Dowdu asked in a soft voice. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. Of course not. How could Daddy be tired? Daddy's strength is so great. Dodo sighed. Haha, of course. Daddy can only protect you and your mother with this. Mu Lianfeng replied with a smile. Then Dowdu must grow as tall as Daddy in the future, and then protect mother. Dowdu's soft voice sounded. Dowdu is a good man. In the future, us father and son will protect your mother together. Okay. Hearing the conversation between father and son, Xiao Yun's eyebrows were tinged with a smile. Perhaps this was the happiest thing in a woman's life. To have a husband and son like this, she was very lucky. The three of them slowly entered the mountains. The spring scenery was getting thicker, and it was almost March. The vegetation in the mountains was more lush, and there were many thorns on both sides of the road. If one was not careful, it was easy to hook one's leg and cause a wound. Mu Lianfeng walked in front. Whenever they encountered such a situation, he would specially remind Xiao Yun to be careful. After walking for about 20 minutes, they slowly entered the mountain. The herbs should be here. We can find them now. Mu Lianfeng, what do we need? Xiao Yun asked. Red-crowned crane grass, Hautuinia grass, and earthen cassia grass are all fine. There's also iron thread grass and white earth grass, Mu Lianfeng said. These were all herbs used to stop bleeding and prevent dog bites. Xiao Yun nodded and said to Mu Lianfeng, why don't we split up? It'll be faster this way. Mu Lianfeng didn't agree. Yuner, let's go together. It's too dangerous in the mountains. If we encounter any ferocious beasts, how can a woman like you deal with them? In the end, Mu Lianfeng was still too concerned about her. He was worried that Xiao Yun would have an accident. Xiao Yuner met Mu Lianfeng's worried eyes and had to give up. The weather was getting warmer and warmer. The ferocious beasts in the mountains were indeed starting to move out, as Mu Lianfeng said. If they encountered wild boars and wolves, they really couldn't deal with them. Okay, let's go together. Okay. The two of them searched for a while and found the Hautuinia grass. They hurriedly picked it and put it in the basket, then continued to look for the next herb. However, although there were many herbs in the mountains, it was still not easy to find a specific type. In particular, the vegetation was lush, and many herbs were hidden in the grass. It was difficult to find them in a short time. After searching for almost half an hour, they still couldn't find the iron thread grass. Why don't we go deeper into the mountains to look for it? There are more herbs there. Maybe we can find it, Xiao Yuner asked. Chapter 538. There was no other way now. If they didn't go in and try, they probably wouldn't be able to find the herb. Little Black's injuries still needed immediate treatment. Mu Lianfeng pondered for a moment, then said to Xiao Yun, let's go in and try. Okay. Xiao Yun nodded. The three of them slowly went deep into the mountains. The vegetation was indeed a lot more lush. Especially the trees above their heads. They were probably over 100 years old, and their branches were especially thick. Because of this, they covered a lot of the sun, and the light inside was also a lot dimmer. And the temperature was a little lower. Walking inside, a layer of cold air was emitted from their bodies. Seeing Xiao Yun curled up, Mu Lianfeng asked with concern, Yun, are you cold? It's a little cold, but it's okay. Let's continue looking. It'll be good if we find it. Mu Lianfeng nodded. In the beginning, they didn't find the herb, but they encountered a lot of prey. But when a wild rabbit passed by in front of them, Mu Lianfeng picked up a few stones on the ground and threw them over. It was very accurate, and it was killed in one hit. The wild rabbit that was hit by the stone lay on the ground and struggled for a few times, but it was no longer moving. Xiao Yun opened her mouth in surprise. This was a little too exaggerated. When people went hunting in the mountains, they had to bring a bow and arrow. Otherwise, the fast rabbit wouldn't be able to catch up. But Mu Lianfeng, a few stones settled it. This was too scary. Xiao Yun looked deeply at Mu Lianfeng. She seemed to have a new understanding of Mu Lianfeng. He was so outstanding. She still underestimated him. This man was more powerful than anyone else. Xiao Yun also suddenly felt that with such a man by her side, she could really rely on him for a lifetime. Dowdy clapped in joy, and said to Mu Lianfeng, Daddy, you're awesome. Is that so? Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up. Yes, yes. Dowdy nodded heavily. Today, you're the best Dowdu has ever seen. Can you teach this to Dowdu in the future? Of course you can. Daddy will teach you whatever you want to learn, Dowdu. Zhao Yun picked up the hair on the ground and put it into the basket. Then, she said to Dowdu and Mu Lianfeng, we can eat hare meat tonight. Yes, Dowdu likes it. Dowdu couldn't help but drool at the thought of Zhao Yun's roasted rabbit meat. Let's go. Let's continue looking for herbs. Little Black is still waiting for us. At the mention of Little Black, Dowdu's eyes darkened, and he seemed very downcast. Zhao Yun had no way to comfort her, so she could only hurry up and find the herbs. Fortunately, they finally found it after searching for a while. Zhao Yun used a small shovel to gently dig out the herbs, shook off the soil at the roots, and put it into the basket. Okay, we found it. Let's go back and save Little Black. Zhao Yun said with a smile. Dowdu's furrowed brows finally relaxed. Yes. Then let's hurry back. Okay. Just as the three of them turned around, there was a sudden movement behind them. It seemed like something was walking towards them, and the withered branches on the ground creaked. Mu Lianfeng's expression suddenly became serious. His intuition told him that danger was slowly approaching them. Chapter 539. It's a tiger. Wild beasts such as tigers, wolves, and wild boars were the scariest in the deep mountains. Tigers were the kings of all beasts and were even more difficult to deal with. What kind of luck did they have to encounter one today? Zhao Yun's heart clenched. She knew that if the tiger couldn't defeat them, their entire family might lose their lives here. What should we do? Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng worriedly. Mu Lianfeng hugged Zhao Yun tightly and whispered into Zhao Yun's ear, Yun, don't be afraid. I'm here. Zhao Yun could only trust Mu Lianfeng now. This man would definitely protect her and Dowdu. The danger was getting closer and closer. Mu Lianfeng's brows were tightly knitted together. He looked around and handed Dowdu to Zhao Yun. Then, he hugged Zhao Yun, jumped, and landed on a tree. Yun, you and Dowdu stay up there. Don't come down. I'll deal with that beast. Zhao Yun grabbed Mu Lianfeng. Tigers aren't easy to deal with. You should also stay in the tree and wait for it to leave. Zhao Yun was glad that tigers didn't know how to climb trees. Otherwise, they really wouldn't know what to do today. Mu Lianfeng shook his head. Yun, if I don't go down, that beast will still be guarding below. We won't be able to waste too much time with it. Don't worry, I'll be careful. But Zhao Yun's brows were still tightly knitted. She was still worried about Mu Lianfeng. Be good. You have to trust your man. I won't do anything that I'm not sure of. Mu Lianfeng said and gently kissed Zhao Yun's forehead. Zhao Yun blushed in front of Dowdu. However, she didn't have the time to be shy at this moment. Facing such a great danger, she still didn't know if they could survive. For the sake of you and Dowdu, I still have to take care of you for the rest of my life. I won't allow anything to happen to me. Mu Lianfeng seemed to be talking to Zhao Yun, but also to himself. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's determined eyes, Zhao Yun took a deep breath. Then be careful. This is for you. Zhao Yun took out a knife from her basket. She had brought it with her when she entered the mountain. It was the only defensive tool she had in her hand. Mu Lianfeng took it. As for the tiger, it had already walked over and arrived under the tree. It roared at the tree and opened its bloody mouth. Dowdu was so scared that he started crying. Zhao Yun hugged Dowdu tightly in her arms and covered his eyes. Dowdu, don't be afraid. Daddy and I are here. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Xiao Yuner and Dao Du and jumped down from the tree. Mu Lianfeng, you have to be careful, Xiao Yuner warned. After Mu Lianfeng jumped down, the tiger attacked Mu Lianfeng. Roar! The tiger leaped and pounced on Mu Lianfeng. Xiao Yuner's heart tightened. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng dodged. She finally breathed a sigh of relief. However, after the tiger missed, it attacked again. This time, it was more irritable. It bared its fangs and pounced straight over. Looking at such a huge monster attacking in anger, Xiao Yuner trembled in fear. Her hands, which were holding Dao Du, couldn't help but tremble. They were facing a tiger, and not something else. How could an ordinary person deal with this thing? After all, fighting a tiger with martial arts was just a story. Chapter 540. Xiao Yun comforted him. Dao Du, don't be afraid. You'll be fine. Your daddy is so powerful. He can beat a tiger. Dao Du is so scared that something will happen to daddy. If something happens to daddy, what will Dao Du do? It wasn't easy for Dao Du to finally have a daddy. Hearing Dao Du's pitiful words, Xiao Yun felt her heart ache. Mu Lianfeng and the tiger were fighting fiercely under the tree. Mu Lianfeng was at a disadvantage. He could only dodge the tiger's attacks and not let it get close enough to hurt him. This was already not easy. After being teased by Mu Lianfeng, the tiger had used up a lot of its strength. Mu Lianfeng was also tired and panting. However, Mu Lianfeng would not take the initiative to attack in a situation where he was not completely confident. Xiao Yun watched the battle anxiously. She was worried for Mu Lianfeng. Roar! The tiger was already starting to get impatient and irritable. It directly charged over. The corners of Mu Lianfeng's mouth curled up, revealing a devilish smile. This smile made people feel that he was peerlessly beautiful and could cause the downfall of a city. If it weren't for this special occasion, Xiao Yun would have liked to admire it. This man was simply a demon. Just as the tiger was charging over, Mu Lianfeng jumped and landed on the tiger's body. The tiger jumped a few times, but unfortunately, it could not shake off Mu Lianfeng. Roar! The tiger roared anxiously. Perhaps it felt that it was in danger, and there was a hint of sadness in its roar. Mu Lianfeng seized this opportunity. Without hesitation, he stabbed the knife in his hand into the tiger's head. The knife was stabbed very deeply into the center of the tiger's head. The entire knife was buried in. Roar! The tiger roared a few times. After struggling for a while, it lay on the ground and did not move. It was dead. It was finally dead. Mu Lianfeng wiped the beads of sweat off his forehead and heaved a sigh of relief. Looking at the motionless tiger on the ground, his furrowed brows relaxed. If this continued for a while longer, his physical strength would not be able to keep up. Yuner. Dao Du. Mu Lianfeng looked at Xiao Yuner and Dao Du on the tree and smiled. Fortunately, with the danger resolved, he could continue to accompany Xiao Yuner and Dao Du. Mu Lianfeng leaped and landed on the tree again. He hugged Dao Du and Xiao Yuner tightly in his arms. Yuner. Dao Du. Daddy. Dao Du also hugged Mu Lianfeng excitedly. Zhao Ping'er was very afraid that something would happen to Mu Lianfeng. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng was fine. Immersed in Mu Lianfeng's arms, Xiao Yuner felt that this moment was indescribably beautiful. Mu Lianfeng fought with the tiger for so long that his body was covered in sweat. Xiao Yuner and Dao Du did not mind at all. Because of this, the hearts of the whole family were tightly glued together. After a while, Mu Lianfeng carried Dao Du and Xiao Yuner down from the tree. Xiao Yuner stared at the tiger on the ground. This was a good thing. Such a big tiger, its whole body was treasures. The tiger's skin could be sold for a lot of money. However, Xiao Yuner was not prepared to sell it. After she went back, she would peel the tiger's skin and keep it as a treasure. It was excellent to use in winter to keep out the cold. Xiao Yuner and Dao Du looked at Mu Lianfeng with admiration. Mu Lianfeng stood tall in their hearts. He even killed a tiger. If word got out, it would probably shock many people. Chapter 541. Yeah, Mu Lianfeng replied. Daddy, you're really amazing. Can Dao Du learn Kung Fu from you in the future? That way, Dao Du can kill a tiger if he meets one. Mu Lianfeng laughed and said to Dao Du, okay, then Daddy will teach Dao Du Kung Fu later. Yes, yes. Dao Du nodded heavily. Let's carry the tiger back. We can cook tiger meat for a few days when we go back. Xiao Yun said. If this was the 21st century, who could eat tiger meat? The country's protected animals could only be seen a few times in the zoo. However, looking at the tiger on the ground, it was at least 200 kilograms. It was very heavy to carry. Okay. Mu Lianfeng responded. As he spoke, he directly carried the tiger on his body. It didn't seem to take much effort. Xiao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng in surprise. This man was too strong. How could he pick up such a heavy thing as if he was picking up a chick? What's wrong, Yun-er? Mu Lianfeng asked when he saw Xiao Yun looking at him in a daze. Xiao Yun reacted and shook her head. It's nothing. Let's hurry down the mountain. Yes, yes. Mu Lianfeng carried the tiger. Xiao Yun originally wanted to carry Dao Du, but Dao Du refused. Mother, Dao Du is a man. Dao Du has to protect Mother. How can I let Mother carry me? But the mountain path is not easy. It's okay, Mother. Dao Du can do it. Okay then, Mother, hold Dao Du's hand. Yes, yes. Mu Lianfeng walked in front, while Xiao Yuner and Dao Du walked behind him. It was easier to go down the mountain than to go up the mountain. It was not as tiring, so they did not need to rest and went straight to the foot of the mountain. After entering the village, the villagers saw Mu Lianfeng carrying a big tiger on his back. They were so shocked that their jaws almost fell to the ground. Soon, the news that the crown prince was going to hunt a tiger from the mountain spread throughout the village. After Xiao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng went back, they first put the tiger in the yard. Then, they took out some herbs, ground them, and applied them to little Hei's wound. Change the medicine every day, and the wound should slowly heal. Don't worry. Mu Lianfeng patted Dao Du's head and comforted him. Yeah. Dao Du looked at Mu Lianfeng. Father, you're so amazing. You're the best father. Dao Du is so happy to have a father like you. Because Mu Lianfeng could save little Hei, hunt the tiger, and protect him and his mother. In Dao Du's heart, Mu Lianfeng was his hero. Dao Du is so amazing. How can a father be bad? Mu Lianfeng smiled. Little Hei, you have to get better soon. Father has already prepared medicine for you. When you're better, I'll give you a lot of meat. Dao Du patted little Hei and whispered into his ear. The little puppy looked up and barked at Dao Du as a response. Okay, Dao Du, let little Hei rest. Don't disturb his rest. Okay, Mother. Let's go and skin the tiger. Hearing this, Dao Du responded excitedly. After the family left the house, they found that many villagers had gathered in front of the door to join in the fun. Killing a tiger, this was too shocking. One had to know that many people who entered the mountains were eaten by tigers. It was because of this that there were people in the village who dared to enter the mountains. Chapter 542. His Royal Highness is really amazing. He even knocked the tiger down from the mountain. Yeah, not many people can do that. His Royal Highness is a hero. Such a big tiger, it's a good thing. Xiao Yun's family is going to be rich now. Fighting a tiger with his bare hands, I really want to see His Royal Highness's majestic appearance. That's amazing. Not only is the Crown Prince's status extraordinary, but his ability is also extraordinary. So, some people are destined to be extraordinary. Many women and young girls showed admiration to Mu Lianfeng. He was rich, had a high status, and was also very handsome. Now, he was so outstanding. He was the ideal man in many women's hearts. After comparing, many women thought of their own men and felt that they were too inferior. However, they couldn't get such a good man. Only Xiao Yun was lucky. The onlookers wanted to see how Xiao Yun and Mu Lianfeng would deal with such a big tiger. There was so much meat on the tiger that it was comparable to a pig. Xiao Yun couldn't eat it all. Would she share some with the villagers? Yun, how should we deal with this tiger? Mu Lianfeng asked. Xiao Yun stared at the tiger on the ground. It was full of treasures. Tiger meat could be eaten, and it had many effects. It could nourish the stomach and blood, strengthen the muscles and bones, and so on. It was a rare treasure. The tiger bones could be used to make wine. There were many effects. The tiger skin was also a valuable thing. It could be sold for a lot of money, but Xiao Yun certainly wouldn't sell it. As for the tiger penis, it was very helpful for men in that aspect. When men couldn't do it, they would often eat some cattle penis and sheep penis to strengthen their sexual drive. The tiger penis was more effective than cattle penis and sheep penis. It could warm the kidneys, strengthen the sexual drive, and nourish the marrow. Those rich and noble families would buy it at a high price. A tiger penis could be sold for dozens of taels of silver. Skin it first, but I don't know how to do it. Mu Lianfeng, do you know how to do it? Xiao Yun asked. Mu Lianfeng shook his head. I'm not very skilled. I don't know if I can skin it well. Tiger skin is a good thing. It will be a waste if it is damaged. You can't skin it casually. Xiao Yun nodded. It was indeed troublesome to skin of such a big tiger. If it was damaged, it wouldn't be so valuable. At this time, someone stood up and said, Little Yun, Lu Lei often goes hunting in the mountains. He's good at skinning. Such a big tiger, why don't you let him skin it for you? Why don't you give him some tiger meat later? Xiao Yun felt that it was quite reasonable. She originally planned to invite Lu Lei. With such a big movement in the village, Lu Lei happened to come to her place to join in the fun. When he heard the news, Lu Lei didn't believe it. The tiger's attack power was so strong. How could a person deal with it barehanded? He had been in the mountains for so long. If he didn't run in time, he would have been swallowed into the tiger's stomach. After walking for a while, he arrived at Xiao Yun's house. He saw a lot of people in front of Xiao Yun's courtyard. A tiger was lying on the ground in front of the courtyard. Lu Lei's eyes were filled with shock. It really was a tiger. It seemed that the villagers weren't talking nonsense. Chapter 543. No wonder Yun'er chose Mu Lianfeng instead of him. Lu Lei sighed as he suddenly understood something. In fact, no matter what, as long as Yun'er was happy, everything was fine. Since there was such a good man who could take good care of her, there was no reason for him to be unhappy. Ah, speak of the devil, Lu Lei is here. Lu Lei, go and help Yun'er peel the tiger's skin. Let us have a look. Xiao Yun'er's sight fell on Lu Lei. Seeing Lu Lei coming over, she said with a smile, "Lazy, can you peel the tiger's skin for me? There is no one else in the village except you." The corners of Lu Lei's mouth twitched as he nodded. "Of course, give me the saber." "Okay, thank you, Lazy." "No problem." In fact, Lu Lei was also a little excited. Facing such a big tiger, he was amazed. It was his first time peeling the tiger's skin. Before hunting, he only peeled the skin of some smaller prey. Many furs could be sold for money, and some were even more valuable than the prey's meat. After peeling the skin for a long time, he naturally gained experience. However, he had never tried peeling such a big tiger before. After Lu Lei took the knife, he made a cut on the tiger's neck. With a hissed sound, a piece of the tiger's skin was torn off. Lu Lei didn't hesitate and continued peeling it. His movements were very smooth. In a short while, a complete tiger's skin was peeled off. The onlookers were amazed. It turned out that Lu Lei was so amazing. When he peeled the tiger's skin, his eyes were sharp and focused. His movements were neat and the muscles on his arms twitched. It seemed that he was very powerful. The women looked at him and couldn't help being fascinated. Why didn't they know that Lu Lei was so charming before? He was a real man. It was a pity that he was too poor. If he was better, perhaps the women would be willing to marry him. Lu Lei peeled off the complete tiger's skin and handed it to Zhao Yuner. He said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, this tiger's skin has just been peeled off. You have to dry it in the sun." Zhao Yuner nodded. There was a trace of gratitude and admiration in her tone. "Lazy, thank you. You're so amazing." Being praised by Zhao Yuner, Lu Lei felt embarrassed. It's nothing." "Haha, you're amazing." Lu Lei forced a smile. "No matter how powerful I am, I'm not as powerful as Lord Air. Lord Air actually brought back a tiger. If it were me, I would never be able to do it." Lu Lei said. He glanced at Mu Lianfeng who was behind Zhao Yuner. "Everyone has different specialties. You're also very good at skinning tigers." "I can't do that. I just know some kung fu, so I killed a tiger." Lu Lei didn't expect Mu Lianfeng to say that. He didn't look down on him, nor did he show off. He suddenly understood why Zhao Yuner liked this man. It was because Mu Lianfeng was too outstanding. It was not only because of Mu Lianfeng's identity, but also because of Mu Lianfeng's money. "Yuner, I'll help you deal with the tiger's skin," Lu Lei said. He thought that Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng were not good at it. Zhao Yuner didn't refuse Lu Lei. "Lazy, thank you." "No problem. Bring me a few baskets." "I'll do it." Chapter 544. After finding the veins and texture of the tiger meat, he cut the tiger meat with a sharp knife. The tiger meat and bones were separated. As for the tiger's internal organs, only the gallbladder was left, and the rest were thrown away. There was a lot of meat from a tiger. It filled 2 big baskets and a big basin of bones. It took Lu Lei almost an hour to finish all of this. "Brother Lei, you must be tired. Wash your hands first, wipe your sweat, and drink some water." "Okay." This was a laborious work. Lu Lei was very tired after finishing it, but he felt much better after resting for a while. The processing of the tiger meat was finally done. Looking at so much tiger meat, if it was sold to a restaurant, it could be sold at a good price. Common prey was not cheap, let alone this rare tiger meat. 500 grams was estimated to be 100 copper coins. However, Zhao Yun now had Mu Lianfeng, so she should not be short of money. She probably would not sell this tiger meat. The onlooking villagers had no intention of leaving. You and Prince Shitzi probably can't finish this much tiger meat. People in our village have never tasted it before. Why don't you give us some to try? At this time, a woman stood out and said. Since there was one, there was a second. Other greedy villagers also echoed. Yes, if we can't finish it, it will be a waste. We have never seen anyone in our village who can get a tiger to eat, let alone know the taste of tiger meat. Why don't you give us some so that we can have a good meal? Prince Shitzi is so powerful and extraordinary. He will definitely share the tiger meat with everyone. Xiao Yun only felt that these people were ridiculous. She did not know how these people were shameless enough to say it. There were so many people. Even if each family only had a little, it would be a lot. Before Xiao Yun could say anything, old Xiao's family heard about it and came to join in the fun. As soon as Hu Chunhua heard other women say such shameless words, she immediately scolded them. She spat on the ground and said, "You shameless bitches, I will give you more to eat. Why don't I see that you have something good to give to others?" Xiao Yun glanced at Hu Chunhua. It was rare that Hu Chunhua could scold people so well. Xiao Yun also knew that Hu Chunhua was afraid that unrelated people would share the tiger meat. If that happened, there would be no way to give it to old Zhao's family. So it's Auntie Zhao. Didn't you come here for tiger meat too? Don't tell us that you don't want to eat later. A woman retorted. Hu Chunhua snorted, "How can I be the same as you? In any case, Yun is a member of our Zhao family. She's my granddaughter. Giving me tiger meat to eat is something I should do out of filial piety." Elder. Granddaughter. That's not what you said in the beginning. You even kicked Yun out of the house. You said it yourself that Yun and old Zhao's family had separated, so she is no longer a member of the old Zhao's family. Now that Yun is living a good life, you want to come here to curry favor with her. A woman couldn't stand it and sneered. Xiao Yun stood aside quietly. She only felt that it was very interesting. These people were so funny. Watching the women in the village quarrel, she wanted to know what else they could do. Chapter 545. Hu Chunhua was so angry that she made threatening gestures. So what if I say it? I'm telling the truth. My mouth is on my body, so why don't you say it? Damn woman, I'll teach you a lesson. As she spoke, Hu Chunhua rushed towards the woman who had spoken, and the two of them began to wrestle. The battle became intense for a moment. Old Zhao's people hurriedly pulled the two of them apart. Even so, Hu Chunhua was still injured, and there was a big scratch on her face. The other woman's condition was also quite serious, and the scar on her face was very obvious. The other villagers were just here to join in the fun, and they liked to see this kind of quarrel. Enough, if you want to fight, don't do it in front of my house. Xiao Yun raised her voice. Also, if you want to eat the tiger meat, you can't tell me. You have to discuss it with the heir. He brought it back. Xiao Yun directly pushed this matter to Mu Lianfeng. The villagers weren't fools. How would they dare to ask Mu Lianfeng for the tiger meat? Even if they were greedy, they could only think about it. Many of the sensible villagers left, but there were still a few who were unwilling to give up. They dawdled for a while, and after being glared at by Mu Lianfeng, they went back in a strange manner. When Xiao Yun saw these people leave, she breathed a sigh of relief and began to move the tiger meat into the house. "Mother, how are you? Does it hurt?" Li Chuiying asked. "It hurts, how can it not hurt? Try scratching your face. That damn woman is too cruel. She scratched my face." Hu Chunhua cursed. "Mother, you've lost a lot of blood. You need to eat something good to nourish yourself. Yun just happens to have a lot of tiger meat here. If we bring some back, it can be a good nourishment for you. Feng Zhangxia also said, that's right, mother's injuries aren't light. She needs to be nourished well. Eating tiger meat is the best. If it was something else, they wouldn't care about it. But tiger meat was a rare good thing. Since Zhao Yun had so much, there was no harm in giving some to old Zhao's family. Third sister-in-law, why don't you talk to Yun about it? Look at mother's condition. You and third brother are usually the most filial. You can't watch mother lose so much blood and not even eat anything to nourish her body. Feng Zhangxia was more shrewd than Li Chuiying. She knew that it would be difficult to get it from Zhao Yuner. If she instigated Liang Jinqiao, the chances were much higher. Liang Jinqiao's lips twitched awkwardly. She really couldn't refuse. Looking at the scars on Hua Chunhua's face, she more or less sympathized with her. She sighed and said to Feng Zhangxia, eldest sister-in-law, then I'll go and try. I'll talk to Yuner and see if she can give some to our parents. Seeing that Liang Jinqiao agreed, Feng Zhangxia immediately flattered, third sister-in-law is the most filial. Sure enough, it's true. Liang Jinqiao went to Zhao Yuner's room and told Zhao Yuner what had just happened. Zhao Yuner thought for a moment and finally agreed. After all, not everyone in old Zhao's family was annoying. Her fourth uncle, fourth aunt, and second cousin were all very good people. Moreover, she had a lot of tiger meat here and couldn't finish it in a short time. Zhao Yuner took 10 caddies of tiger meat to old Zhao's family and asked her parents to take 30 caddies back. 10 caddies of tiger meat would be given to Zhao Ping's in-laws. Chapter 546. Old Zhao's family went back happily after getting the tiger meat. Actually, Yuner is a good girl. She's quite generous this time. She gave us so much tiger meat. Feng Zhangxia praised her on the way back. That's what she should do. She's eaten so much of our food since she was young. How could she not be able to compete with this little tiger meat? Hua Chunhua replied unhappily. Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly. Mom, you can't say that. If Yuner didn't give it to us, we couldn't do anything about it. Hua Chunhua thought about it and agreed. That's because she's being generous for once. Mom, let's go back and cook the tiger meat. Okay. When it came to cooking tiger meat, old Zhao's family was more enthusiastic than anyone else. With so many people in old Zhao's family, they could eat a lot of tiger meat. When they got home, Zhao Wenshui was sitting in the yard with his legs crossed. He was wiping his mouth and thinking about what had just happened. He went to Qian Chuanqiu's house again today. Although Qian Chuanqiu told him not to go during the day, he couldn't help it. He shamelessly wandered around in front of Qian Chuanqiu's house. Qian Chuanqiu was afraid of being seen, so she had to let him in. At that time, only Qian Chuanqiu's youngest son was in the house. He was only 6 or 7 years old. A child at that age didn't know anything, so Qian Chuanqiu didn't avoid it. After Zhao Wenshui enjoyed himself, Qian Lixia drove him out. Zhao Wenshui, you have to do what you promised me. Before Zhao Wenshui left, Qian Chuanqiu reminded him. It had been 2 days, but there was still no news. Qian Chuanqiu was very doubtful about whether he could do it. Don't worry. But it has to be done slowly. Zhao Yuner can't be persuaded all at once. Don't forget what you said. Otherwise, don't even think about getting into my bed. Hee. I know, but how can you bear to part with me? If I'm happy, won't you be happy too? Zhao Wenshui said with a sly smile. Qian Chuanqiu glared at Zhao Wenshui. You think I'm happy with this job? You can't even do it for a while. I'm not talking about you. You're much worse than my dead man. You're not even 1/10 of him. Zhao Wenshui smiled embarrassedly. How could it be so bad? My job isn't as bad as you described, right? Humph, you should comfort yourself. You probably haven't seen what a good job looks like. Qian Chuanqiu snorted. Zhao Wenshui was confused after hearing Qian Chuanqiu's words. Was it true that he couldn't do it? It was a huge blow to a man. When Li Chuiying saw Zhao Wenshui, he asked, Tianyu's father, where have you been? I couldn't find you for half a day. Hearing Li Chuiying's question, Zhao Wenshui came back to his senses. She casually said, nothing much. I just wasn't feeling well, so I went out for a walk. After going out for a walk, I feel much better. Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenshui. What do you mean by, wasn't feeling well? I think you're just lazy. You're lazy like a maggot. You ran out because you don't want to work, right? I won't let you eat the tiger meat tonight. Hearing the mention of tiger meat, Zhao Wenshui's eyes lit up. Mom, what did you say? We're eating tiger meat tonight. Where did the tiger meat come from? It's good stuff. Chapter 547. If that's the case, then we can have a good meal tonight. I haven't eaten meat for a long time. I'm so hungry. Zhao Wenshui said excitedly. Looking at Zhao Wenshui's good-for-nothing appearance, Wu Chunhua felt angry. You're so lazy when it comes to work, but when it comes to food, you're so excited. Zhao Wenshui smiled fawningly. Mother, isn't this normal? Who has no interest in eating meat? Don't you think so? Hu Chunhua looked at Zhao Wenshui and replied, why do I only have one son like you? Zhao Yun began to prepare the tiger meat and prepare to cook. It was getting late. Because of the tiger matter, they had delayed a lot of time. Yun I'll go back then. Liang Jinchao held the tiger meat and said, Tianan is tired from working in the mountains today. He can eat meat to replenish his energy. The land at the foot of Old Zhao's mountain was too barren. They were afraid that the harvest would be too poor, so they picked some black soil from the village. It was definitely better than the sand and stone soil above. With more black soil and more fertilizer, the land would slowly become fertile. Of course, the villagers did not expect that the method of picking fertile soil was thought up by Zhao Yun. Picking up buckets of soil at the foot of the mountain was tiring work. Zhao Tianan was not very old. Liang Jinchao felt sorry for a young man doing such a tiring job. Tiger meat was more nutritious than anything else. It was better than eating pork. After eating a few meals, Zhao Tianyu would be able to replenish his energy. Yes, yes. Mother, you can go back now. Zhao Yun nodded in response. Liang Jinchao carried the basket and left Zhao Yun's house. It was quite heavy to carry 40 kilograms. Auntie, do you want me to send it back for you? Mu Lianfeng approached Liang Jinchao enthusiastically. Liang Jinchao did not dare to trouble Mu Lianfeng and hurriedly waved his hand. No need, no need. I can carry it myself. All right then. Auntie, slow down. It's nothing. After Liang Jinchao left, Mu Lianfeng smiled at Zhao Yuner and said, Yuner, let's cook together. Zhao Yuner did not refuse. Okay. Before the two of them entered the kitchen, they asked Lu Lei to wait outside so that they could eat together later. Lu Lei was a little restrained. He had promised to eat, so he couldn't refuse. He could only sit in front of Zhao Yuner's door and wait. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng entered the kitchen. Mu Lianfeng was in charge of cutting the vegetables. His knife skills were neat, and the tiger meat was cut neatly by him in a short while. Your knife skills are really good. Xiao Yuner could not help but praise. Mu Lianfeng curled the corners of his mouth and smiled. Wife, you flatter me. Xiao Yuner glared at Mu Lianfeng shyly. I haven't married you yet. You're already calling me wife. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at by others? Mu Lianfeng did not take it seriously. So what? Yuner, you're my wife. If it's possible, I want to marry you now. Alright, let's cook. Xiao Yuner did not want to argue with Mu Lianfeng. She knew that she could not win against Mu Lianfeng. As for tiger meat, Xiao Yuner had not cooked it before, so she did not have much experience. However, the cooking method for meat was similar, so Xiao Yuner cooked it according to the method for beef. She fried the braised tiger meat together with oil, salt, pepper, chili, ginger, garlic, cooking wine, vinegar, and soy sauce. After a while, a fragrant smell came from the kitchen, making people swallow their saliva. Chapter 548. Tiger meat was indeed a good thing. It smelled so good, but he didn't know how it would taste. But he thought that it wouldn't taste too bad. Lu Lei smelled the fragrance coming from the kitchen and couldn't help but stretch his head out to take a look. He didn't expect that someone of Mu Lianfeng's status would actually go to the kitchen to help Xiao Yun cook. This man was too different from what he had imagined. No wonder Xiao Yun liked Mu Lianfeng. In addition to the tiger meat, Xiao Yun also dealt with the rabbit they brought back from the mountain. She put some oil and salt on the iron fork and then roasted it in the stove. The wood inside the fire roasted the rabbit, making sizzling sounds. This kind of rabbit was roasted in its original taste and was especially fragrant. Xiao Yun had roasted it like this before. It was extremely fresh and delicious. She and Daodu had also eaten the rabbit clean. The fragrance in the kitchen was getting stronger and stronger. This meal was extremely sumptuous for Lu Lei. When it was done, Mu Lianfeng moved the table out of the house and the few of them sat in the courtyard to eat. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was busy, Lu Lei couldn't help but say, Shiziyi, let me do it. You can rest. After all, he had a high status. This kind of rough work wasn't for someone like Mu Lianfeng to do. It's okay. You're a guest. You can rest. Mu Lianfeng said as he turned around and went into the kitchen to start serving the dishes. Lu Lei sighed. His impression of Mu Lianfeng rose sharply. This man, if he were Xiao Yun, he would also choose him. The sumptuous dishes were placed on the table. Mu Lianfeng took out a jar of wine and prepared to drink a few cups with Lu Lei. Men couldn't eat without wine at the table. This time, Lu Lei opened his heart to Mu Lianfeng and talked a lot, including his feelings for Xiao Yun and Mu Lianfeng. The more the two men talked, the happier they became. Because they had the same goal, they hoped that Xiao Yuner could have a happier life. After the meal, Xiao Yun handed the tiger meat to Lu Lei and said to him, Brother Lei, why don't you take some tiger bones back with you? You can use them to brew wine and drink them often. It's good for your body. I've already taken so much meat, isn't it a little inappropriate to ask for more tiger bones? Lu Lei was a little embarrassed to accept it. It's okay, Brother Lei. You've helped us a lot today. It's what I should do. Anyway, there are so many tiger bones in this big basin. Alright then, Yuner, I won't hold back then. Take it. You don't have to be so polite with me. Lu Lei didn't refuse anymore and kept the tiger bone. Tiger meat was indeed a good thing. Drinking it with wine was more nourishing than anything else. It was especially suitable for men like them. After Lu Lei left, Xiao Yuner also packed up the things in the house. She picked out some things and sent them to Mulan. On the other side, at the foot of the mountain, Xiao Tianyu accidentally tripped and fell to the ground when he was picking soil. His knee was scraped by the stones on the ground. It hurt so much that he couldn't stand up for a while. Hiss, Xiao Tianan gasped. There was no one at the foot of the mountain, and no one came to help him. He could only sit on the ground, frowning, and endure the pain. He thought that he would be fine in a while. What's wrong with you? At this time, a girl's voice suddenly came from behind him. Xiao Tianan turned around. It was a beautiful girl. He also recognized her. Ma Xiaofeng. Xiao Tianan knew that his eldest sister, Xiaoping, and Ma Xiaofeng were very close. Chapter 549. Your leg is bleeding. Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly rushed over and said with a nervous face. Being suddenly approached by the girl, Xiao Tianan even smelled the faint fragrance on Ma Xiaofeng's body. He usually didn't interact with girls, so when Ma Xiaofeng got so close to him, his face suddenly turned red. Hey, are you okay? Does it hurt? Ma Xiaofeng asked with concern. Meeting Ma Xiaofeng's concerned eyes, Xiao Tianan blushed even more. He stuttered, I'm fine. As he spoke, he lowered his head, not daring to look at Ma Xiaofeng again. You still say you're fine, but your leg is bleeding. Hey! Ma Xiaofeng's tone revealed some distress, then she took out a handkerchief and began to bandage Xiao Tianan's leg. After Ma Xiaofeng wrapped it around his leg, she tied a cute bow. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng do these things for him, Xiao Tianan's heart thumped even harder. He was more introverted, and besides his own family, he had never talked to other girls, let alone get so close. Ma Xiaofeng was the first girl to be so warm to him, such a good girl, his heart couldn't help but beat a few times. He still didn't dare to look up at Ma Xiaofeng. I'm done bandaging, Ma Xiaofeng's pleasant voice sounded in Xiao Tianan's ear, with a girl's innocence. Thank you, you're welcome. But your leg shouldn't be able to walk, right? There's no one at the foot of the mountain, why don't I help you back? Ma Xiaofeng said enthusiastically. This is not good, is it? Will it be too much trouble for you? Xiao Tianan asked. It's okay, it's no trouble. You're Ping, her sister's brother, it's my duty to help you. Xiao Tianan replied shyly, then. I'll have to trouble you. At the same time, Xiao Tianan glanced at Ma Xiaofeng. Seeing the sweet smile on Ma Xiaofeng's face, his feelings for Ma Xiaofeng became even more special. She looked really pretty when she smiled. He used to think that she was pretty, but he didn't think much of it at that time. At that time, Ma Xiaofeng and Xiao Ping walked together and smiled. Now, Ma Xiaofeng was smiling at him alone. Let's go. Ma Xiaofeng stepped forward, supported Xiao Tianan, and pulled Xiao Tianan up from the ground. Put your hand on my shoulder, it'll be easier for the two of us to walk, Ma Xiaofeng said. Xiao Tianan blushed. When Ma Xiaofeng was holding his arm, he was already nervous to the point of being unable to bear it. If he were to put his arm on Ma Xiaofeng's shoulder, wouldn't that be equivalent to hugging Ma Xiaofeng? Ma Xiaofeng saw that Xiao Tianan didn't say anything, so she asked, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're shy. We're doing it openly, what are you shy about? Let's go. Otherwise, it'll be late, and I still have to help my mother cook. Hearing Ma Xiaofeng's words, Xiao Tianan didn't refuse anymore. He put one hand on Ma Xiaofeng's shoulder. The young girl leaned against his chest. She was soft, and there was a sweet smell. Xiao Tianan's throat moved, and he swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva into his stomach. Be careful, your leg needs to heal properly. It's best if you don't move for the next few days, Ma Xiaofeng reminded him. Okay. Zhao Tianan became more and more shy. Ouch! On the way down the slope, one of them didn't walk steadily, and the other fell. Chapter 550. The two of them fell to the ground. Zhao Tianan was on the bottom, and Ma Xiaofeng was on top. The two of them were in an unusually ambiguous position. Zhao Tianan swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva. At this moment, he suddenly had some kind of impulse in his heart, but he still controlled himself. Ma Xiaofeng lay on Zhao Tianan's body and said somewhat shyly, "Fortunately, there's no one else here. If we were seen like this, there would probably be some gossip. If there's gossip, then I'll definitely take responsibility for you. I can't let it affect your reputation. I'll marry you then." Zhao Tianan didn't know where he got the courage to say this to Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng's eyes lit up a little. "Really? Of course, you're helping me. I can't just watch you get talked about." Ma Xiaofeng's lips curled up, and a sweet smile appeared on her face. "Tianan, you're really a good man. If I'm going to marry in the future, I'll definitely marry someone like you who dares to take responsibility for his actions," Ma Xiaofeng said with a smile. Looking at the smile on Ma Xiaofeng's face and her words, Zhao Tianan didn't know how to respond. Ma Xiaofeng didn't continue on this topic. Instead, she got up from Zhao Tianan's body and helped Zhao Tianan back. On the way back, Ma Xiaofeng's lips curled up into a smile. She could see more clearly than anyone else that in the entire village, the family with the most potential was still Zhao Yun's family. Zhao Yun not only had a breakfast stall, but most importantly, she had hooked up with the Shitzi. There would be plenty of money in the future. Zhao Tianan's conditions weren't bad. He was quite handsome, and among the boys in the village, he was considered one of the better ones. In addition, Zhao Tianan's character wasn't bad. He was more honest, reliable, and wasn't the kind of person who was scheming. If she married him in the future, she would have a good life. After all, Zhao Ping was closer to her and could help her at home. From the looks of it, Zhao Tianan seemed to be interested in her. Ma Xiaofeng was not as direct as Xiao Hong. She had to do it bit by bit if she wanted to keep a man in suspense. He went home happily. When he got home, Qian Chuanxiu wasn't there. He didn't know where she went. "Sister." Ma Xiaofeng called out softly as he walked in front of Ma Xiaofeng. "What's wrong, Xiaolu?" Ma Xiaofeng asked. "Sis, let me tell you something. Don't tell mother." Yeah. "Sis, mother let a man into our house today. They even went into the room, but mother didn't let me in. I heard my mother screaming from outside the door. She must have been beaten by that man. She screamed very miserably." Ma Xiaola said vividly. He was a child, so he didn't understand. However, Ma Xiaofeng knew what was going on. She was dumbfounded. Her mother was having an affair with someone. "Xiao Luo. Do you know who that man is?" "I know. It's Xiao Tianyu's father." "It's him." Ma Xiaofeng never expected this. However, this matter couldn't be known to others. If the villagers knew that her mother was having an affair, they would scold her to death. Even her reputation would be affected. Ma Xiaofeng was furious. How could her mother do such a thing? Wasn't she afraid of embarrassing herself if it was known? She didn't think about her and Xiao Lu at all. She didn't want to be unable to raise her head in the village. Chapter 551. Ma Xiaola nodded and replied, "Got it, sister. I won't tell anyone except you." Ma Xiaofeng patted Ma Xiaola's head and said, "Good boy." Zhao Yun sent the tiger meat and bones to Mulan's house. Mulan's man was tired from working, so she used the tiger bones to make wine for Zhu Eru. She was even busier with her 3 children. In the morning, she had to set up a breakfast stall with Zhao Yun. In the afternoon, she had to do breakfast, wash clothes, and cook. Originally, she wanted to join in the fun when Zhao Yun's house brought back a tiger. Unfortunately, she couldn't get away, so she didn't go. Now, Zhao Yun actually sent the tiger meat to her. Since she was so close to Zhao Yun, Mulan didn't stand on ceremony. Yun, thank you. You're welcome. This tiger meat is good stuff. Hurry up and cook it. Okay, Yun, Mulan responded and carried the tiger meat into the kitchen. Madame Qi saw the tiger meat in Mulan's hands and knew that it was good stuff. She also wanted to try it. Madame Qi said, "Second sister-in-law, you have to show filial piety to mother and give her some to eat, right? She's not in good health. Tiger meat is very nutritious." Mulan wasn't very happy to hear Madame Qi's words. Those who didn't know better would think that her sister-in-law was filial. In fact, she was usually the one who bullied Mrs. Zhu. Now, it seemed like she was more considerate of Mrs. Zhu. Mulan wasn't a fool. She thought for a moment and said, "Sister-in-law, okay then. When I'm done cooking, I'll bring a bowl over for mother." When Madame Qi heard this, she quickly said, "There's no need to trouble you. Can't you just cut a little for me? I'll cook it." "Sister-in-law, it's not troublesome. I'll cook it in my own house." "Oh, second sister-in-law, I said I'll do it myself," Madame Qi said eagerly. She was going to snatch the meat from Mulan's hands directly. Mulan took a step back and said, "Sister-in-law, what are you doing? Why bother you? I'll bring it to mother. Besides, your cooking skills are not good. It'll be a waste if it's not good." Madame Qi looked at Mulan angrily. She didn't expect Mu to be so eloquent. She used to be suppressed at home. She didn't give it to her. She to her steal it. Anyway, they share the kitchen, tea. She eat, Yunt eat, Yun's it. And it. There wasn't much wine at home. Mulan used half of the tiger bones sent by Zhao Yuner to make wine and the other half to make soup. The taste of stewed tiger bones was much better than that of pork bones. Madame Zhu took the tiger meat. She was reluctant to eat it herself, so she directly took it to Zhu Sanlu's room. Her youngest son was injured last time and had been lying in bed to recuperate. He couldn't even study. Tiger meat happened to be very nutritious, so it was best to give it to him. "Sanlu, come here and have a look. What delicious food did mother send you?" Madame Zhu said with a smile. Zhu Sanlu got up from the bed, stretched his nose and sniffed. He asked Madame Zhu, "Mother, what is this? Meat? It smells so good. Give it to me." Madame Zhu answered with a smile. She sat in front of Zhu Sanlu's bed, handed him a bowl and said, "Sanlu, this is not ordinary meat. Chapter 552. You child, what are you talking about? How could it be cat meat or mouse meat? That meat can't be eaten," Mrs. Zhu said. "Mother, we haven't eaten meat for a long time. What good meat can there be?" Zhu Sanlu curled his lips and said. "It's really good meat this time. It's tiger meat. Zhao Yun sent it to your second sister-in-law. Your second sister-in-law sent me another bowl. I couldn't bear to eat it myself, so I came over to give it to you. You're weak, so you should nourish yourself. You'll definitely feel better after eating it." When Zhu Sanlu heard this, he was a little excited. Tiger meat. That's really good stuff. Let me try it. As he spoke, he picked up a piece of tiger meat from the bowl and stuffed it into his mouth. Bam bam bam, he started to eat. As he ate, he praised, "Mother, it's really delicious. The taste of tiger meat is really different." Mrs. Shu watched Zhu Sanlu eat eagerly. Seeing him eat with relish, Mrs. Shu couldn't help but swallow her saliva. Unfortunately, there was only so much tiger meat. If she ate it, Zhu Sanlu wouldn't have anything to eat. Thinking about it, her son was more important. She let Zhu Sanlu eat it. "Mother, how did Zhao Yun get the tiger meat? Isn't that too amazing?" Zhu Sanlu casually asked as he ate with relish. "I heard that she hunted a tiger from the top of the mountain." "I see." Zhu Sanlu listened and lowered his head to think for a moment. "Mother, what's wrong?" Mrs. Shu came over and asked. "Mother, did Shitzi Yi really hunt a tiger? Didn't you just eat the tiger meat? If you didn't hunt it back, where did you get the tiger meat?" "Mother, I heard from the books that it's good for a man to eat cow's penis and sheep's penis. Tiger's penis is the most powerful." Mrs. Shu was stunned. The books also talk about this. Everything is in the books. Zhu Sanlu was a little guilty. Of course, there was no such thing in the books. He knew all this from the pornographic books. At that time, he studied it every day and naturally had a certain understanding of these things. "But why are you talking about this?" Mrs. Shu asked curiously. "Mother, the doctor said that there's no hope for me down there, unless there's some miracle medicine. I feel that if I can use the tiger penis and eat it, it will definitely be good for that thing down there. Mother, you don't want me to be like this for the rest of my life, do you? I still have to pass on the legacy of our family." Zhu Sanlu tugged at Mrs. Shu's sleeve. Mrs. Shu was silent for a moment. She felt that what Zhu Sanlu said made sense. The tiger penis was a rare and miraculous medicine. If Zhu Sanlu ate it, he might be able to cure the thing below. "Sanlu, even if you say so, the tiger penis is a treasure. Will Zhao Yuner give it to us?" "Mother, do we have anything good in our house? Wouldn't it be fine if he just brought it over to exchange? It's not like I want her for free." Zhu Sanlu said unconcernedly. Mrs. Shu thought about it. That was true. If they couldn't get it directly, then they could exchange it with something else or buy it with money. In any case, Zhao Yuner couldn't use the tiger penis. Wouldn't it be a waste if they didn't use it? Thus, Mrs. Zhu responded, "All right, I'll help you talk to her tomorrow and try to get it back." Yes. Zhu Sanlu nodded heavily and looked forward to it. Chapter 553. Sometimes, he would fiddle with it with his hands, and then it would droop down softly. It was no longer as valiant and spirited as before. Thinking of this, Zhu Sanlu sighed with a stifled heart. He was still a pure and innocent young man who had never tasted a woman before. If he couldn't do it like this, he would have to suffer for the rest of his life. "All right, don't think about it. Hurry up and eat," Mrs. Shu called out. "Got it, Mother." Zhu Sanlu wolfed down the rest of the tiger meat, one bite at a time. "Mother, here's the bowl. You can go out. I'll rest by myself." "Okay." Mrs. Shu took the bowl and left Zhu Sanlu's room. The bowl was clean and there was nothing left. Her Lu didn't even know to leave a piece for her to try. Sigh, Mrs. Shu sighed worriedly. She didn't get to taste the tiger meat, but she was also craving it. There was still some soup in the bowl that Zhu Sanlu had eaten. Mrs. Shu couldn't help but lick the bowl, and the soup on the plate was clean. It was really delicious. Needless to say, the taste of the soup was different. Madame Chi just came out and saw Mrs. Zhu licking the bowl. Her greedy look made her angry. Mulan brought her a bowl of tiger meat, and she quietly sent it to Zhu Sanlu's room. She didn't care about the first branch and only cared about her precious youngest son. Now that Zhu Sanlu had finished eating, she was licking the plate. Madame Chi asked unhappily, "Mother, how is it? Is the tiger meat delicious?" "Delicious. Of course it's delicious," Mrs. Zhu replied. Then continue to lick the plate. "Heartless old thing," Madame Chi said angrily. Tonight, she also wanted to secretly taste the tiger meat. After Zhao Yunhe went back, she finished processing the remaining tiger meat, soaked the tiger bones in wine, and took back the tiger skin after drying for half a day. She planned to continue to dry it tomorrow. It should be fine after a few days. Finally, there was the tiger penis left. Zhao Yunhe thought about how to deal with it. Sell it? I don't know if anyone would buy it. I'll consider my own household first. If I don't need it, I'll sell it. Zhao Yunhe thought for a while. Which man in the family needed this more? Mulan didn't need to use the man's appearance. The two of them were already busy enough every night. If Xu Eru used it, the two of them would probably be busy all night. The next day, Mulan wouldn't be able to get up and go to the breakfast stall with her. Her father didn't seem to have any use for it. Zhao Wenhua's body was not weak. He had done a lot of farm work and had developed a body full of muscles. Therefore, he wasn't bad in that aspect. In the original owner's memory, there was a vague scene of Zhao Tianhua and Liang Jinxiao doing it. After all, they had only lived in one room for so many years. There were times when the children would be woken up. In the original owner's memory, Zhao Wenhua was quite brave. As for Zhao Tianan, he was still young and didn't even have a wife, so he couldn't do it. She didn't know his fourth uncle, so she was embarrassed to ask about this kind of thing. After thinking about it, it seemed that such a good thing could only be given to Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yunhe pointed at the tiger penis and said, "Mu Lianfeng, do you need this thing? If you don't need it, I'll take it to the pharmacy and sell it." In fact, Zhao Yunhe was a little embarrassed to ask this. Mu Lianfeng was stunned. "Yunhe, what effect does it have?" Chapter 554. What's wrong, Yunhe? Is the effect too special? Zhao Yunhe smiled awkwardly and said, "Mu Lianfeng, I thought you knew everything. Logically speaking, shouldn't men know a lot about this kind of thing?" Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. "How is that possible? Who can be omniscient?" "Yunhe, what's the effect of this tiger penis? Tell me, I'll see if I can use it." Zhao Yunhe felt even more awkward and cleared her throat. "Then, it's aphrodisiac. It's good for men." After saying that, Zhao Yunhe quickly looked away, not daring to look at Mu Lianfeng's reaction. It was too damn embarrassing. As a woman, how could she have the nerve to say this to Mu Lianfeng? After Mu Lianfeng heard that, he was obviously stunned. Then, the smile on his lips deepened. "Yunhe." Mu Lianfeng slowly leaned towards Zhao Yunhe. Zhao Yunhe sensed the danger and retreated a bit. What's wrong?" Zhao Yunhe saw Mu Lianfeng leaning over and asked nervously. "Yunhe, actually, I don't know if I need it or not. I've almost forgotten what we did before. Why don't we try it and then we'll know?" Mu Lianfeng's tone was a little teasing. Zhao Yunhe's face instantly turned red. It wasn't that she didn't know what this guy meant. He actually said that. It was so embarrassing. Although she had been with Mu Lianfeng for such a long time and their relationship had become much closer, it still hadn't reached that stage. Forget it then. I'll sell it then. Seeing Zhao Yun's blushing face, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but want to continue teasing her. Yun, are you shy? We'll be husband and wife in the future. This kind of thing will happen sooner or later. Mu Lianfeng pushed Zhao Yun to the corner of the wall and whispered into Zhao Yun's ear. Then, let's talk about it after we get married, Yun. But I want you. What should I do? Zhao Yun felt her heart thumping. God. He wanted to do that thing with her. She really wasn't mentally prepared. You solve it yourself. If you want it, do it yourself. Dowdy still sleeps with us. It's not convenient. Yun replied softly. She Yun's problem, he didn't want her to solve it herself. He used to think that this kind of thing between men and women was disgusting, but after meeting Zhao Yun, he was looking forward to it. It should be wonderful to be able to do this with the person she liked the most, right? Yun, can you bear to let me solve it myself? What's there to not bear? Anyway, I won't help you solve it. You should solve your own problems. You can't rely on others. Yun, aren't you afraid that I won't be able to get it up in the future? I heard that when a man can't hold it in, it will affect him greatly. Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but tease her again. However, Zhao Yun didn't fall into Mu Lianfeng's trap. Instead, she replied, then I'll keep the tiger's penis for you. If you really can't get it up in the future, we can still use it. Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched. He didn't know how to respond. He smiled helplessly and said, all right then. We'll keep the tiger's penis for now. It's not like we're short of money. What if we can use it in the future? Chapter 555. Could it be that this guy really couldn't do it? She didn't even know if a man could do it or not. I'll keep it for you, okay? Mu Lianfeng replied with a smile. He looked at Zhao Yun's flushed face and her body tensed up. She looked very nervous. He was just casually teasing her. Now it seemed that Zhao Yun was serious and was a little afraid of having sex with him. Mu Lianfeng held Zhao Yun in his arms and whispered in Zhao Yun's ear, Yun, don't be afraid. I won't force you. I'll only touch you if you're willing. Mu Lianfeng's sudden words made Zhao Yun's heart skip a beat. It wasn't easy for a man to respect a woman like this. Zhao Yun replied shyly. If she became Mu Lianfeng's wife, she would have to think about what a wife should do. She had to be mentally prepared for the relationship between husband and wife, in another place. In old Zhao's house, in the second branch's room. It was late at night and everyone was quietly asleep. Zhao Wenshui thought about Qian Chuanqiu's words today. He had to test it out with his wife. Ingzi, are you asleep? Zhao Wenshui gently patted Li Chuiying and asked Li Chuiying in her ear. Li Chuiying opened her sleepy eyes. What's wrong? Tianyu's father. I haven't loosened the soil for you for a while, right? Zhao Wenshui asked. Li Chuiying suddenly understood something. She looked at Zhao Wenshui grumpily. You know about it too. If you didn't tell me, I would have thought that you didn't remember. My land is almost deserted. That's because there was a lot of farm work. I had to do so many things every day and I was so tired at night. Who would think of loosening the soil for you? Then why did you think of it tonight? I ate meat tonight. He had strength. Why don't we play with each other? The kids are all asleep. Zhao Wenshui coaxed Li Chuiying. Li Chuiying said angrily, "No, I won't do it." "Alright, Ingzi, don't be angry with me. Tonight, I will loosen the soil for you and make you comfortable." Li Chuiying was just joking. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui was being coaxed, he didn't refuse. She really did want it. "Alright then. Alright." Zhao Wenshui turned over with a smile and began to take off his clothes. The two of them became entangled. In less than 3 minutes, Zhao Wenshui was gasping for air, unable to move. "Tianyu's father, how long has it been? Why aren't you moving? Let's continue." "I was just getting excited," Li Chuiying urged. Zhao Wenshui had no choice but to continue moving. This time, he couldn't hold on for much longer. I can't, I'm exhausted." "Hey, how long has it been? You can't go on anymore. We haven't done it in so long. Why don't you do it a little longer?" Li Chuiying seemed to be disappointed. Zhao Wenshui also felt uncomfortable. "I want to, but I don't have the strength." "Hey." In that case, he really couldn't do it. He was a little weak in that aspect. "Ingzi, have you heard other women say how long their men can last?" Zhao Wenshui suddenly asked. "They said their men can last for an hour." "I don't know. You are my only man. Who knows if what they said is true?" You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.